Chapter 293. The banquet was held very smoothly, and Xia Ping successfully gained 20,000 hatred points. He didn't know how many people scolded him, but they were helpless and could only pretend to be a grandson. In the evening, the guests who attended the banquet left one after another, and only Xia Ping's family was left in the villa. "Dad," Xia Ping said to Xia Chuanlu, "I also brought some gifts for you when I came back from the Yanhuang University exam." "You went to take the exam. It is said that it was very harsh and many people died. You can still bring gifts." Xia Chuanlu blinked. With a snap, Xia Ping took out 4 or 5 gem fruits from his space ring and immediately placed them on the table. Under the light, they emitted a colorful light, which was very beautiful. Isn't this the legendary gem fruit?" Seeing the appearance of this fruit, his mother Huang Lanxin was surprised. She has studied cooking for a long time, and naturally knows more or less about all kinds of precious ingredients in Yanhuang Star, and the gem fruit is one of the legendary ingredients. It is said that the value of this gem fruit is amazing. Such a fruit is worth 50 million federal coins. Only the high-level big shots are qualified to enjoy it. It can't be bought in the outside market at all. She rubbed her eyes and couldn't believe it. "Amazing, son, where did you find this gem fruit?" Xia Chuanlu was also very shocked. Xia Ping smiled slightly. The examination site was in a relic, and there happened to be a strange tree of heaven and earth, so I picked these gem fruits and brought them back. "Son, why don't you go to heaven? When people take the exam, which one of them is not afraid of death and life? You, on the other hand, can bring back specialties from it." Xia Chuanlu was speechless. He didn't know what to say. Why does the exam sound like a trip? By the way, in addition to the gem fruit, I also found a lot of fire lizard meat from it, which is extremely rich in high-energy protein and nutritious. It is 10 times better than the meat of the fire bear. Xia Ping pretended to go back to his room and then took out a black bag with 200 or 300 pieces of fire lizard meat in it. He threw it on the table with a snap and said, "If an ordinary martial disciple realm expert eats it, it can prolong his life and strengthen his physique. If he eats a lot, he can be promoted to the martial warrior realm. You two just have to eat it every day. I guarantee that you won't have any diseases or disasters for the rest of your lives." Seeing so many good things that couldn't be bought with money, Xia Chuanlu and Huang Lanxin were speechless, because this scene was too stimulating for them. Beep! At this moment, Xia Ping's phone rang with a notification. He opened it and saw that it was a bank transfer notification. The examinees from the 9 great continents immediately transferred money to him after they returned home. In less than a few minutes, the examinees had completed the transfer. It was very straightforward, and his bank account suddenly had an additional 99 billion federal coins. "Son, what's wrong?" Xia Chuanlu felt very strange as he looked at his son. Xia Ping said carelessly, "It's nothing. Someone transferred money to me. I made a lot of friends in this exam. They want to give me money. I can't stop them." Hearing this, Xia Chuanlu's mouth twitched. He didn't know what to say. How could there be such an idiot in the world? He couldn't even stop him from giving money. Why didn't he give him money? "How much money?" Huang Lanxin asked. With a snap, Xia Ping immediately turned on the virtual projection and displayed the bank account information on it, revealing the number of the successful transfer of 99 billion federal coins just now. 99 billion. Oh my God, could it be that the decimal point is wrong? Is it 990? Both Xia Chuanlu and Huang Lanxin trembled for a while, dumbfounded. Although those priceless treasures before were enough to surprise people, this huge sum of almost 100 billion still made them feel a little dizzy. Even for those aristocratic families, hundreds of billions of federal coins was definitely an astronomical figure. It was estimated that even all the assets of the Nangong family added up would only be that much, but now he had earned it all at once. It would definitely scare people to death if they knew about it. There's no mistake, it's true. Xia Ping smiled slightly. Xia Chuanlu looked up to the sky and sighed, "Son, you don't want to go to heaven, you really do. You've earned hundreds of billions at such a young age. It's too awesome, too awesome. How many people can compare with you? They've lived their whole lives like dogs." He was shocked. Before tonight, he didn't expect that his Xia family could have hundreds of billions. Even his father, Xia Lu, who had died long ago, probably didn't expect it. If he said it out loud, others would think it was a fantasy. No, if it weren't for Dad, I wouldn't have been able to earn so much money. Really, Dad, you also have half of the credit. Xia Ping said modestly. Hearing this, Xia Chuanlu suddenly showed a proud look and said, "Isn't it? If I hadn't worked hard to give birth to you, you wouldn't have had the chance to earn so much money. Don't brag here. You're really panting when I say you're fat." Huang Lanxin looked at Xia Chuanlu angrily. Xia Chuanlu's face was thicker than the city wall and he was unmoved. He was silent for a moment, looked at Xia Ping and said, "Son, you're already so promising, and you're even admitted to Yanhuang University. As your father, I have nothing to say. It is estimated that you will advance to the peak of martial arts in the future. This road is also your choice, and I can't stop it. But pay attention to safety. Where there's life, there's no need to worry about firewood." He liked to brag, but he also knew that this villa, this money, and even his position as director were all brought by his son, but it didn't mean that there was no price. The greater the benefits, the greater the risks. As a strong and elite human being, they have to stand at the forefront and fight against the tyrannical monsters. Every day, if they are not careful, they may die under a king monster one day. This is the life of a martial artist. Enjoy the glory and wealth, enjoy all kinds of privileges in human society, this is the price. Although there is no money, no power, at least it is safe, and there is no need to worry every day. However, this is the path Xia Ping chose himself, and he can only recognize it, but as a parent, he is still very worried. "Dad, I know, I run faster than anyone in danger." Xia Ping nodded. He also understood his parents' worries, but this is the path he will take in the future. The path of a martial artist is full of thorns and blood. Safe and stable, without disease or disaster, ordinary is a way to live, fighting with monsters and climbing to the peak of martial artists is also a way to live, and he chose the second. It's good that you know. Xia Chuanlu and Huang Lanxin both nodded with satisfaction. For the next 3 days, Xia Ping also stayed with his parents and played around. After all, once he went to Yanhuang University, it was estimated that it would be a long time before he could return. Xia Ping also transferred 1 billion to his parents. If it was too much, they would be at a loss and they couldn't use it all. 1 billion was enough. Chapter 294. A huge warship was docked at the airport of Tianshui City. Xia Ping took a taxi to the airport and was picked up by the staff. He immediately saw Jiang Yaru, Nangang Wu, Feng Hetang, Chu Rong, and others on the warship. The interior of the warship was full of seats, just like the seats on an airplane. Each person had a seat, and Xia Ping also came to his own seat. Boom! As soon as Xia Ping sat down, the floor shook and the warship flew up. "Big brother." Feng Hetang pointed at a notch next to his seat and said, "There's a smart watch in this notch. It's installed with Yanhuang University's student chip, which records all kinds of information about Yanhuang University and Cloud Realm. It has been bound to your pupils, fingerprints, genes, and so on. You just need to activate it. It is said that when you enter Yanhuang University in the future, you will have to use this watch for transactions, daily life, system positioning, and so on." Xia Ping looked at it and immediately took out a smart watch from the groove and put it on his wrist. With a beep, a virtual page immediately popped out and a blue light shot out, scanning his body. Fingerprint rune, pupil characteristics match, smell match, confirmed to be Xia Ping, system activated. A mechanical voice sounded. Finally going to Yanhuang University. After activating the smart watch, Xia Ping was very satisfied. It is said that Yanhuang University is in Sky Realm. I wonder what that place looks like. He was very curious because all information about Sky Realm was confidential. Ordinary people had no idea what was in that place. They only knew that it was a cultivation paradise. Not only were there all kinds of treasures, but the area was tens of thousands of times larger than Yanhuang planet. Moreover, the world's spirit qi was rich. When warriors went there, their cultivation efficiency would increase more than 10 times. Almost all the best warriors on Yanhuang planet had gone to Sky Realm. Even most of the King Realm experts were in the Cloud Realm and had taken root in that place. If there was nothing important, they would not return to Yanhuang Star. But other than that, ordinary people knew nothing about that place. It is a very dangerous place, Nangong Wu said seriously. Nangong Wu said solemnly, I heard from my father that the Cloud Realm is rich in heaven and earth spiritual qi, materials, and treasures. That's why there are so many powerful monsters living in that world. There are even some monsters that possess intelligence that is not inferior to that of humans. They can speak the human language and can even transform into a human form. They can already be called demons. Although the Nangong family is not a big family in the entire Yanhuang Star, they still know more news like this than ordinary people. The most important thing is that this is not an extremely confidential matter. He can speak the human language and take on a human form. Xia Ping blinked his eyes in surprise. Yes. Feng Hetang nodded in agreement. It can be said that the biggest enemies of humans in the Cloud Realm are the Beast Kings. The Cloud Realm belongs to the Beast Kings from the very beginning. However, when we humans entered this world, we began to seize many territories and occupy this world. It is said that they also have a headquarters called the Myriad Demon Mountain. It is the sacred mountain of the demon clan, where king-level demon beasts live. Rumor has it that all the demon beasts in the entire Cloud Realm obey the orders of the Myriad Demon Mountain. It rules the 72 demon kings of the caves, the 36 demon masters of the caves, and 108 other major forces. There are also countless other large and small demon kingdoms all over the Cloud Realm. It can be said that these demon beasts are already the biggest enemies of humans. For hundreds of years, there have been many tragic wars between humans and demon beasts. Both sides have suffered countless casualties and formed a blood feud. His expression was also very serious. Xia Ping's eyes flickered. He was very excited and not the slightest bit afraid. Wasn't being able to see such a vast world one of the reasons why he wanted to embark on the path of a warrior? If it's so powerful, then won't it be very dangerous for us to enter the Cloud Realm? Jiang Yaru, who was next to him, also heard these words. Nangong Wu waved her hand and said, There's no need to worry. We humans have been in the Cloud Realm for more than 500 years. We relied on our tyrannical King Realm experts and a large number of high-tech weapons to defeat the demon kings and establish human cities. We've long since gained a firm foothold in the Cloud Realm and are on par with the demon kings. Moreover, Yanhuang University is at the entrance of Yanhuang planet and the Cloud Realm. It is equivalent to a backline existence. It is extremely safe. No matter how powerful the demon kings are, they can't attack us. She gestured for Jiang Yaru to rest assured. I looked at the introduction of Yanhuang University on the smartwatch. It seems that there is something called contribution points, which is very important, even more important than federal coins. Chu Rong pressed the smartwatch, and an interface popped up. Of course it is important. It can be said that contribution points of Yanhuang University are more important than federal coins. Nangong Wu nodded. This kind of contribution points is simply a hard currency in Yanhuang University. You can enter the university library to buy all kinds of King Realm secret manuals, go to the medical hall to buy precious pills, and all kinds of precious treasures. You can even spend contribution points to have a King Realm powerhouse help you improve your cultivation. It is said that one contribution point is equivalent to 1 million federal coins. If you exchange it in the black market, it can even reach 5 million federal coins. Moreover, it is priceless in the black market. No one is stupid enough to exchange contribution points for federal coins. Every new student can get 100 contribution points. This is the starting capital given to us by the university. We can use it to buy all kinds of secret manuals and pills. She pointed to a number on Chu Rong's page, which showed 100 contribution points. Chu Rong and the others were shocked. As long as you had enough contribution points, you could buy all kinds of King Realm secret manuals and browse them at will. This was the benefit of being admitted to Yanhuang University. But in the outside world, even if you had money, you couldn't get it. This was the benefit of being admitted to Yanhuang University. But the premise of everything was that you had enough contribution points. My dad warned me before that when new students enter the society, there will be the phenomenon of the old students bullying the new students. They will bully the new students because they don't know the importance of contribution points. They will use all kinds of tricks to cheat the new students of their contribution points, causing the new students to be penniless and live a difficult life. Their cultivation will also plummet. They will even fail the year-end exam and be kicked out of Yanhuang University. Feng Hetang also warned. Chapter 295. But how do you get these points? Xia Ping asked with concern. Nangong Wu thought for a moment and said, mainly through missions. The school will issue a lot of missions for students to complete. After they complete the missions, they will receive a huge reward from the school. Also, you have to make contributions. For example, if you get precious treasures, monster materials, elixirs, ores, and so on. If you offer these treasures to Yanhuang University, they will also buy them according to a certain amount of points. She explained how to get points. It seems that the freshman ranking competition can also give you a lot of points. Xia Ping pointed to an image and projected it. Nangong Wu nodded, indeed, it can give you a lot of points. If you take first place in this competition, you will get 10,000 points, second and third place will get 5,000 points, fourth to sixth place will get 3,000 points, and seventh to 10th place will get 1,000 points. As for the other students, they will only get 100 points. Only the top 10 can get benefits. It seems that we have no chance, Jiang Yaru said regretfully. Although she was also very confident in her strength, it was simply impossible to get into the top 10 in Yanhuang University, where there were many hidden dragons and crouching tigers. I think only Big Brother will have this chance, Feng Hetang said. Xia Ping also touched his chin. If he could get first place in the freshman ranking competition, he would get 10,000 points. This was simply 100 times more than ordinary students. One step ahead, one step at a time. He understood this very well. No. You guys are really underestimating Yanhuang University. I think even Xia Ping can't get into the top 10. Nangong Wu shook her head, not optimistic about Xia Ping. Chu Rong was unconvinced, even Mu Bancheng is not Xia Ping's opponent. Who else can? Although she also knew that this bastard was very shameless, she had to admit that this guy was tyrannical. Even the descendant of the king's family was not a match for him. It was not an exaggeration to say that he was this year's first place. If this year's enrollment is only for students from Yanhuang planet, then Xia Ping will probably get first place. But this time, there are also local residents living in the sky world. Nangong Wu clenched her fist. We humans have been in the sky world for 500 years. Many of our ancestors have lived in this place, constantly taking root, and the population is also growing crazily. It is said that the population in the sky world has far exceeded the population of Yanhuang planet. It has already reached 60 billion. What? Chu Rong and others were taken aback. This was the first time they had heard such information, because on Yanhuang Star, there was only a little more than 30 billion. Are you surprised? No, that's not strange at all. Nangong Wu said in a deep voice, over the past 500 years, planet Yanhuang has continuously migrated its population to the cloud realm. Coupled with the great improvement in medical technology, the chance of infant death is almost zero, and human lifespan has been greatly increased. In addition, the land here is many times larger than that of Yanhuang planet. There is no restriction at all, so the population growth in the cloud realm is much faster than that of Yanhuang planet. It can be said that the cloud realm is the second world of mankind. Xia Ping and the others could not help but nod. Because of the development of technology, human lifespan had been greatly increased. Ordinary martial disciples had a lifespan of 150 years, and when they advanced to the martial warrior realm, they would have a lifespan of 200 years. Supposedly, one would possess a lifespan of 300 years upon attaining the martial master realm, a lifespan of 500 years at the grandmaster realm, and it was even to the extent that the lifespan of king realm experts exceeded 1,000 years. They were simply like old freaks. There were even some king realm experts who had lived since the cataclysm, with a lifespan of more than 1,000 years. These were the real big shots of mankind, tyrannical and invincible existences. On the one hand, the human mortality rate had been greatly reduced. On the other hand, the birth rate had been greatly increased, and materials were abundant. It was normal for the population to increase to 60 billion in just 500 years. If it weren't for the repeated wars with countless monster kings in the past 500 years and the death of countless humans, it was estimated that the population would have more than doubled. So you know the true power of this school's ranking competition. Nangong Wu clenched her fists and said, "These residents living in the cloud realm all live in a place with such rich heaven and earth spiritual qi. Even if they have the same qualifications, their cultivation efficiency is more than 10 times that of ours. Coupled with all kinds of natural treasures, they continue to consume them." Martial masters and grandmaster realm experts emerge one after another. The conditions of some students are better than the heirs of the best families in Yanhuang planet. Because of this, their admission conditions are also extremely strict. They must at least be in the martial warrior realm. And the number of students enrolled is also very high, reaching 160,000, 4 times that of our Yanhuang planet. Chu Rong and Jiang Yaru were silent. Many of the students who were admitted to Yanhuang University this time were also in the martial disciple realm. Compared with the opponents who were at least in the martial warrior realm, the gap was really too big. It was no wonder that Nangong Wu was so unconfident. In comparison, there was really a big gap. "This is nothing." Xia Ping waved his hand. "It's just a low starting point. Let them run a few steps ahead. Sooner or later, we will also surpass them." "That's right. It's not a big deal to start low. As long as we also have such resources, we are afraid of surpassing them." "That's right. As long as everyone is on the same starting line, I am not afraid of anyone." Hearing this, Jiang Yaru and the others were all in high spirits. They were also the pride of the school. Even if they were shocked by such a reality for a while, they would not lose confidence because of it. "Look, we are going through that black hole." At this time, Chu Rong immediately pointed to the window next to her. Immediately, Xia Ping and the others looked outside and saw that the warship had flown to the highest altitude and was flying towards a huge black hole. The surrounding space was extremely oppressive, as if it contained a destructive aura. A huge transparent energy shield immediately surged around the warship, enveloping it and resisting the pressure around the black hole. With a whoosh, it flew into the black hole in an instant. After an unknown amount of time, the warship flew out from the other side of the black hole. "This is the cloud world." Xia Ping and the others looked out the window and immediately saw that they were surrounded by mountains that stretched for tens of thousands of miles. They were lush, as if they were in a primeval forest. However, under such a forest, it was forcibly transformed. Mountains were moved and seas were filled. Mountains were flattened and turned into flat land. The place under the black hole was turned into a huge city. Such a city was more than 100 times larger than Huajing City. There were many schools, huge laboratories, huge training grounds, and luxurious residential villas. Chapter 296. At this time, in a square of Yanhuang University, a battleship was docked, and students walked down from it. There were at least 20,000 people, all of whom were new students. There were 10 such squares, distributed in various places of Yanhuang University, but it was obvious that there were more students in the Cloud Realm, equivalent to 4 times that of Yanhuang Planet. Moreover, each of them had a strong aura, at least above the first heaven of the Martial Warrior Realm. Experts in the third heaven and fourth heaven of the Martial Warrior Realm were everywhere, obviously stronger than the students of Yanhuang Planet. These are the students from the ancestral planet? Their steps are weak and their hands and feet are weak. There are actually people in the Martial Disciple Realm. Such trash can also be admitted to Yanhuang University. This is simply ridiculous. A Cloud Realm student looked at the Yanhuang Planet students walking out of the battleship and was suddenly very dissatisfied. Isn't it? These trash are simply at the bottom of the major schools in our Cloud Realm, but just because they are on the ancestral planet, they have so many preferential treatment. Such garbage cultivation can also be admitted to Yanhuang University. It's really too hateful. Some Cloud Realm students were very disdainful, and there was a trace of indignation on their faces. Think about how fierce the competition between the major schools in their Cloud Realm was. There were 60 billion people, and countless students took the college entrance examination every year, but only 160,000 people could enter Yanhuang University. Moreover, the students who could be admitted to Yanhuang University were at least in the Martial Warrior Realm, and their strength was unknown how much stronger they were than these Yanhuang Planet students. Even so, a large number of Martial Warrior Realm students failed. The problem was that these students from Yanhuang Planet had a chance to be admitted to the Martial Disciple Realm, which made many Cloud Realm students very dissatisfied, thinking that this was preferential treatment for the people of the ancestral planet. There's no other way, they are from the ancestral planet. Although the cultivation environment there is not good, it is after all the birthplace of mankind. Many King Realm big shots were born there. Even so, they can't be discriminated against by region. Why are the students living in the Cloud Realm not only extremely difficult to take, but also so few people are admitted? Indeed, if the competition is fair, I think not even 1/10 of the students from the ancestral planet can be admitted to Yanhuang University. They just rely on Yanhuang Planet's local resident certificate. Without this certificate, they're nothing. It is said that some people who have connections in the Cloud Realm have begun to secretly return to Yanhuang Star. When they are in the 3rd year of high school, they will transfer their household registration to Yanhuang Star and take the college entrance examination so that they can easily be admitted to Yanhuang University. Brilliant, cultivating in the Sky Realm, and then returning to Yanhuang Star to take the exam. Isn't it a sure thing to be admitted to Yanhuang University? It's so easy, I can even lie down. That's wishful thinking. If you don't have power and connections, you won't be able to do it. Ordinary people like us can only watch with envy. But then again, so what if they get in? Aren't these good-for-nothings at Yanhuang University still at the bottom? They're no match for us students from the Cloud Realm. It is said that the strongest of these students from Yanhuang Planet is a character named Mu Bancheng. He is an expert at the 5th level of the Martial Artist Realm. The strongest is only at the 5th heaven of the Martial Artist Realm? Damn, when there are no tigers in the mountains, the monkeys call themselves the king. I'm not bragging, but there are a lot of students here who can beat him. Indeed, the strongest of our students is a powerhouse at the 7th level of the Martial Artist Realm. Even some of the older students of Yanhuang Planet may not be their match. How can these students from Yanhuang Planet compare with us? Many students from the Cloud Realm were talking about it. They all stood in a pile and looked at the students from Yanhuang Planet next to them with disdain. They did not hide their contempt at all. They even deliberately spoke very loudly so that the students from Yanhuang Planet around them could hear them. These bastards! When the students from Yanhuang Planet heard these words, all of them clenched their fists, but they dared not speak up because these students were indeed too strong. On average, they were at the third level of the martial artist realm, and there were even cultivators at the fourth and fifth levels. The gap between the two was too big. Boom! At this time, another battleship landed, and students walked out from it. Suddenly, the eyes of many students lit up because they saw Xia Ping and the others coming down from above. Big brother Xia, you're here. A day without seeing you feels like 3 years. I finally see you. With big brother Xia here, we have a backbone. That's great. One by one, the students went up to say hello. Their attitude was very warm and they smiled. They were all people who had gone through life and death with Xia Ping. They all had revolutionary friendship. There were Roddy, Shifei, and others. Xia Ping and the others also came down and greeted them. No way, this pretty boy can be the big brother of these people? Are you kidding me? He's only at the 4th level of the martial artist realm. Such a character is just an ordinary student here. You can't compare it like this. After all, the education level of Yanhuang planet is low. It took a lot of effort to be promoted to the 4th level. This is already very impressive and worthy of praise. I'm so envious. He can be the big brother with such a level. If I go to Yanhuang planet, won't I be a king and a group of people will worship me as a god? Maybe if you go to Yanhuang planet, you will be a totem. A group of students from the cloud realm laughed and looked at Xia Ping and the others with disdain. What are you laughing at? At this time, Feng Hetang jumped out and scolded the group of people, seeing my big brother coming, why don't you hurry up and pay your respects? What are you doing here stupidly? You people from the cloud realm don't know manners. Don't you know that my big brother came from Yanhuang planet? What? The group of students from the cloud realm was dumbfounded. This fatty was too arrogant. What did he think this place was? He was just a trash at the 4th level of the martial artist realm, and he dared to ask them to pay their respects. He even said that if they didn't pay their respects, they were impolite. What kind of logic was this? Were they used to being domineering on Yanhuang planet? Did they think that they had to listen to them everywhere? Forget it. You don't have to be too nervous. Xia Ping stood with his hands behind his back, showing a calm look. After all, these people are not very civilized. It's normal for them to be impolite. You can't be too demanding. Think about it, it will take hundreds of thousands of years for a primitive man to evolve into a real human being. I think it's still a little difficult to be civilized in just 500 years. After listening, Feng Hetang nodded and said, Big brother is right. I am indeed a little too demanding. This is my fault. I can apologize to them. Chapter 297. Apologize your ass. Don't be too arrogant, boy. You want us to worship you? If you don't, then you are being rude. Who do you think you are? Are you a totem? You actually said that you are from Yanhuang planet. So what if you are from Yanhuang planet? You want us to worship you? Do you think your status is superior? You dare to say that we are uncivilized. Do you want to die, you bastards? How dare you despise us like this? Believe it or not, I will beat you until your mother can't recognize you. A group of Cloud Realm students suddenly exploded in anger, like a cat whose tail had been stepped on. All of them were going crazy. They had never seen such arrogant people from Yanhuang planet in their lives. One must know that all of them who stayed in the Cloud Realm were human elites, rich in materials and developed in technology. The strongest human beings stayed in this place. The Cloud Realm was simply the elite area of human beings. These bastards from Yanhuang planet who had never seen the world dared to look down on them. Not convinced? Xia Ping squinted and looked at these people. Get over here and die. I will let you use one hand. If I can't cripple you, consider it my loss. He stood with his hands behind his back, looking completely like a grandmaster. Fuck, this pretty boy is too arrogant. He even let us use one hand. He is just a trash in the fourth heaven of the martial warrior realm. How dare he say such big words? Let's do it. Let this bastard see the gap between these trash from Yan Huang planet and us human elites. Hearing these words, a group of Cloud Realm students suddenly exploded. Even if they could endure it, they could not tolerate this kind of thing. The other party had already bullied them and pissed on their heads. If they could still endure it, they would be the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Brat, let me fight you. Remember, the Sky World is not a place where trash like you can speak carelessly. Otherwise, you will be beaten up badly. With a swoosh, a strong man who was 1.9 meters tall stood up. He clenched his fists and bulged his muscles. His whole person looked like an iron tower, exuding a tyrannical aura. This was an expert in the fifth heaven of the martial warrior realm. In terms of true chi cultivation alone, it was estimated that he was not inferior to Mu Bancheng. Barbarian Bull Gu Shan, a martial artist at the fifth heaven. This kid is dead for sure. Although Gu Shan isn't the strongest among us students, he is still quite famous. This is a fifth heaven of the martial artist realm expert who has cleared 5 acupoints. I wonder how much stronger he is than this kid. Rumor has it that Gu Shan is extremely strong and has cultivated the demonic ox technique. His body is tough and impenetrable. He is like a raging bull that goes on a rampage. Anyone who fights against him will either die or be injured. He is extremely terrifying. This kid is doomed. He's still 100 years away from fighting Gu Shan. We'll be able to see how badly he'll be beaten up later. Take a photo immediately, leave the evidence, and release it to the students of Yan Huang planet. This is the consequence of offending the students of our cloud realm. Let them understand the rules. Many students from the Sky Realm were discussing among themselves, looking as if they were watching a good show. Boom! In the blink of an eye, Gu Shan made his move. His feet trampled on the ground, and 2 huge deep pits immediately appeared on the ground. Gravel splashed everywhere. He was like a raging bull, and the surface of his body was covered with a layer of tyrannical cyan genuine chi. His right fist was like a bull's horn, and his left fist was like a bull's tail. His 2 hooves trampled out with the power to crack mountains. He was so aggressive that even the air exploded at this moment. When Jiang Yaru and the others saw this, they were all shocked. The students from the heavenly realm were indeed powerful. Each of them had experienced hundreds of battles. Who knew how many monsters and humans they had fought? The martial skills they used were also incomparably exquisite and perfect. There was even a faint murderous aura, with a threatening momentum. If it was a timid person or someone with no experience, they would immediately be frightened by this momentum. But Xia Ping was unmoved. He just stretched out his right hand and gently blocked the front with his palm. The other party's bull's horn rushed over, bursting out with power like a dam bursting. Even a boulder of hundreds of tons would be smashed under this force. Boom! The force bombarded Xia Ping's right palm. The two collided, and the chi vibrated, creating a terrifying gust of wind. Sand and stones flew, and smoke billowed. What? Gu Shan was shocked. He simply didn't dare to believe his eyes. That was because this attack of his was invincible, but when it landed on this kid's palm, it was simply like attacking cotton. All the ferocious force was completely absorbed by a gentle force. Even if he wanted to break through his opponent's defense, it would be impossible. Not good, not good. At this moment, Gu Shan's expression changed. He had used all his strength in this attack. He thought that he could kill the boy in one move, so he didn't hold back. But because of this, it was impossible to instantly recover his strength. At this moment, he had just used up all his strength, and there was no new force coming out of his body. How could he block this? In an instant, Xia Ping kicked out with his left foot. Like a black bear, he roared in the air and let out a roar. The surrounding students couldn't help but cover their ears to prevent their eardrums from shattering. Boom! This kick landed squarely on Gu Shan's abdomen. The force of hundreds of thousands of kilograms exploded, and the true qi formed a spiral, penetrating his lungs and muscles. Ah! Gu Shan immediately let out a blood-curdling scream. Caught off guard, he was sent flying backward. He slid across the ground for hundreds of meters and even left a deep ravine on the ground. With a puff, he couldn't help but spit out a mouthful of blood and fell to the ground. He looked at Xia Ping in horror. Because this kick just now had made him lose more than half of his combat strength, and even his lungs were seriously injured. How is this possible? The group of Cloud Realm students were dumbfounded. They couldn't help but feel shocked. Gu Shan was an expert in the fifth heaven of the martial artist realm, but he was defeated by this boy with one kick. This was too exaggerated. And Gu Shan was not some nameless expert. He cultivated the Herculean ox demon technique, which gave him boundless strength. His body was as hard as a bull. This was a defensive technique. Even if a normal martial artist were to hit him, they would not leave a mark. But how could this boy send Gu Shan flying with one kick? Who else is not convinced? Come out and take a few steps. Aren't you showing me the martial arts of the Cloud Realm? Is this all you have? Xia Ping stood with his hands behind his back, a look of disdain on his face. This is the so-called human elite. Is this the result of having the best cultivation environment, consuming the best heavenly materials and earthly treasures, and occupying endless cultivation resources? If this is all you have, it's too disappointing. It's a complete waste of food. Chapter 298. Well said, I've long been sick of these bastards from the Cloud Realm. They're too self-righteous. If they weren't in such an environment with such rich spiritual qi and a lot of treasures, do you think they would have improved so quickly? If they stayed in Yan Huang planet, they would probably all be in the martial disciple realm and not even be able to break through to the martial warrior realm. They're obviously useless, purely relying on the accumulation of resources. How can such trash be so arrogant? Isn't it? Big Brother Xia is only at the fourth heaven of the martial warrior realm, but he beat this so-called fifth heaven expert like a dog. From this, we can see the level of these Cloud Realm students. If the foundation of martial arts is not stable, it's useless no matter how fast they progress. In this life, they will only be trash in the martial warrior realm. They can't even break through to the martial master realm. It seems that these guys are all trash. If they weren't from the Cloud Realm, how could they have the chance to enter Yan Huang University? Hearing Xia Ping's words, the students of Yan Huang planet immediately mocked and ridiculed the students of the Cloud Realm. They didn't know how comfortable they were now. Xia Ping's lesson was really good. Just now, they were full of anger. These bastards were all arrogant and looked down on others just because their cultivation was slightly stronger. In fact, if it weren't for these guys staying in the Cloud Realm and obtaining countless benefits, how could they have improved so quickly? It was obvious that they relied on external help to improve so quickly, but each of them thought that their talent was invincible enough to surpass the people from Yan Huang planet. If they were also born in the Cloud Realm and had a lot of cultivation resources, they were confident that they would not fall behind this group of people. This group of Yan Huang planet bastards are too arrogant. They said that we relied on resources. How can they have the face to say this? Do they know how hard we usually cultivate? Hearing these words, all the Cloud Realm students' faces turned green and they couldn't help but clench their fists. These Yan Huang planet bastards dared to mock them like this. It was too hateful. However, Gu Shan, who had a little fame among them, a dignified fifth heaven of the martial warrior realm, was kicked away by this kid. He was completely no match for him, which made them speechless. Obviously, there was a difference of a realm. They should have won with an absolute advantage, but now such a situation happened. Didn't this prove that all the Cloud Realm students were trash? Boom! All of a sudden, a fist blasted over from afar, piercing through the air like a cannonball exploding towards Xia Ping, containing incomparable destructive power. What? Xia Ping's eyes flashed, and he struck out with his palm. With a bang, the two forces collided, and he immediately felt an almost irresistible force rushing towards him. This force contained extreme penetrating power, and even the defense of Dark North's body protection technique seemed to penetrate. He retreated more than 10 meters before he finally unloaded this force. A long crack appeared on the ground from Xia Ping's stomp. It was a shocking scene. Everyone immediately looked forward and saw a 2-meter-tall young student among the candidates from the Cloud Realm. His arms and legs were abnormally long, and his muscles were developed to the extreme. It was as if his clothes were about to burst. It was this student who had thrown a punch at Xia Ping from over 100 meters away. As a result, Xia Ping was forced to retreat. "Who are you? How dare you sneak attack me? Are you courting death?" Xia Ping looked at the young student. He felt that the vitality of this kid was very unusual. His vitality was more than several times stronger than ordinary students. He was just like a sun, and the power of his body was extremely terrifying. Even people born with divine power were nothing more than this. Moreover, this kid's martial arts cultivation was also extremely powerful. He was at the 6th heaven of the martial artist realm, one realm stronger than Mu Bancheng. "My name is Zhong Yuan." The young student stood up and stared at Xia Ping with a pair of cold eyes. "Don't think that defeating a little famous Gu Shan is a big deal. He is not ranked in my Cloud Realm at all. It is recognized that you people from planet Yen Huang are weak, and you have to admit that you are weak. Even if there is a gap in resources between the Cloud Realm and planet Yen Huang, so what? Weak is weak. Don't let others say it, right? Even if you will become stronger in the future, you are not qualified now. You should know what is called the fear of the strong. This is good for you." He stared at Xia Ping, and the clothes on his body fluttered without wind. The people around him felt this unparalleled aura, as if he was an unclimbable mountain. Even a slight punch from the other party was enough to beat everyone present into meat sauce. This was overwhelming power. The students of planet Yen Huang felt a burst of suffocation. "You?" Xia Ping squinted at him. With a bang, Zhong Yuan took a step forward. Obviously, he did not use any strength, but the ground could not bear the power of his feet, and a terrible crack appeared. "It seems that you are not convinced. Fine, if you are not convinced, I will beat you until you are convinced." As soon as his voice fell, he wanted to make a move. Whoosh! Suddenly, a figure blocked in front of Zhong Yuan. It was a teacher in white clothes. He said lightly, "Enough, this is the school's important place. Private fights are not allowed. If you want to fight, go to the ranking competition. This time, I see that it is your first time coming to Yanhuang University. You do not know the rules, so I will let you go for now. If there is a next time, all of you will be grounded." His voice was very harsh. Originally, he was nearby to maintain order, but he did not expect that there would be students fighting so soon, which made him feel very annoyed. If the school leaders found out about this, they might be severely punished. You are lucky this time." Seeing the arrival of the teacher, Zhong Yuan's face showed a hint of fear. He stopped and stared at Xia Ping. "The school's ranking competition will begin soon. I want to see what you are capable of then. The cloud world is very big. You, who came from planet Yen Huang, are just a frog at the bottom of a well." After saying that, he turned and left. The other students of the cloud world also stared at Xia Ping, very unwilling, but they could only leave. After all, with the teacher here, they could not fight at all. "You all leave too. Immediately go to the training ground for the school's ranking competition." The white-robed teacher said to Xia Ping and the others, sending them away so that they wouldn't start fighting here. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Seeing this, Xia Ping and the others also left and boarded a nearby bus. This bus was responsible for taking them to the school's training ground for the freshman ranking competition. Rumble the bus moved quickly, and Xia Ping and the others sat on the bus. Chapter 299. Descendants of Kings. Jiang Yaru and the others were shocked. One must know that Mu Bancheng was a descendant of a king. He had an invincible talent. On Yan Huang's star, almost no one could defeat him. But after coming to the cloud world, everyone he met was a descendant of a king. That's normal, Nangong Wu said. There are too many kings in Sky Realm, many times more than on Yanhuang planet. It can be said that the slightly more outstanding geniuses are related to king families. Jiang Yaru and the others nodded. Almost all the elites of humanity gathered in Sky Realm, so it was normal for there to be many strong people here. It was not surprising to meet many descendants of kings. It's not surprising if he's a descendant of an ordinary king, but he has the bloodline of a monster. His talent is even stronger than ordinary descendants of kings. He's simply a monster, Audi said solemnly. His family was also a big family on Yanhuang planet, basically no less than the Su family of Huajing City, so he knew a lot about Sky Realm. The bloodline of a monster. What does that mean? Xia Ping blinked. Roddy said in a low voice, simply put, it's the combination of humans and monsters, giving birth to the bloodline. These people are called half-human half-monster. What? Everyone was shocked. No way, humans and monsters are different races. How can they combine like this and even give birth to descendants? Feng Hetang was very surprised and couldn't believe his ears. Of course they can. You should know that monsters can also transform. Roddy clenched his fists. But not every human can do this. They must advance to the king realm and deeply understand the mysteries of the human body. Only then can they enter an incredible realm and combine with monsters. Ordinary warriors don't have this ability. Nangong Wu nodded as well. I've heard of this as well. For the sake of dissecting the bloodline of the demon race and grasping the energy of the extreme realm in the martial Tao, some human king realm experts forcefully captured female greater demons to study, and then they copulated with them and gave birth to descendants. The Zhong family is like this. It is said that the ancestor of the Zhong family captured countless female monsters and gave birth to tens of thousands of children. After hundreds of years, they formed a huge family, each of whom has the bloodline of a half-human half-monster. Xia Ping also knew that some demons had extremely powerful bloodlines. Some could control fire, some could control wind, some could control the earth, and some could control water. It was an innate ability. However, humans were different. They did not have any abilities and could only rely on cultivation to grasp a certain degree of power. In terms of talent, humans were inferior to these monsters. If humans and these demons were to mate and give birth to a half-human half-demon, perhaps humans would be able to grasp the power of demons. This was probably what many human monarchs were thinking. If that's the case, then wouldn't the Zhong family be invincible? Feng Hetang could not help but ask. If a human could also control the power of a demon and possess the innate talent of a demon, that would be extremely terrifying. No, it's not that simple. Roddy shook his head. Humans and monsters are different races. Even if both sides can get together, the offspring might not inherit the powerful talents of both sides. It might even have no abilities at all. It can be said that even among humans with the half-human half-monster bloodline, there are very few people with powerful cultivation talents. This Zhong Yuan is one of them. Nangong Wu said in a deep voice, however, this matter is a great humiliation to the monster race. They believe that this has violated a taboo, and they hate humans to the core. Because of this matter, there have been several tragic wars that have been waged. In the end, both sides reached an agreement that they must not plunder each other's descendants for no reason. Of course, this is a ban on the surface. I don't know if anyone has done it in the dark. Hearing this, Xia Ping rubbed his chin. What bloodline does this Zhong Yuan have? The wind kangaroo bloodline. Roddy confirmed. The wind kangaroo is known as the sacred fist race among the monster race. They are proficient in countless fist techniques and have extraordinary combat strength. Zhong Yuan has inherited this bloodline. Because of this, his fist technique is extremely powerful and has almost reached the acme of perfection. His strength is boundless, and it is not difficult for him to challenge those at a higher level. The so-called Gu Shan from before is not even worthy of carrying his shoes. Feng Hetang and the others suddenly understood. It was no wonder that this guy was so arrogant. With such talent and tyrannical strength, it would not be a problem for him to enter the top 10 in this student ranking competition. We're here. With a bang, the bus stopped and arrived at a training ground of Yanhuang University. The surroundings were surrounded by a tall and sturdy wall, and the scene inside could not be seen at all. Xia Ping and the others also got off the bus and walked in one by one. In front of them was a vast and boundless open space, as if there was nothing at all. At this moment, a voice sounded in the sky. The new student ranking competition has begun. Everyone will fight 50 battles. If you win, you will get 3 points. If you draw, you will get 1 point. If you lose, you will get 0 points. The ranking will be based on the total number of points. The top 10 will be the top 10 experts in the academy. Rumble at this moment, a wave of energy immediately appeared in the open space, engulfing all the students present. They could not resist at all. In the next second, Xia Ping felt that he had appeared in a training room that was 200 to 300 square meters in size. This training room seemed to be made of energy as well. There was nothing in the surroundings. It was empty and he could not see the outside. This was the materialization of energy. Amazing! Xia Ping was also shocked by such technology. It was many times more advanced than that of Yanhuang planet. As long as there was enough advanced energy, everything could be created, simulated, and transformed. And every student who entered the training ground could be pulled in by this wave of energy. They were distributed in the energy-converted rooms and fought with different opponents. There was no need to worry about any accidents, because everything in this training ground was controlled by a super-optical computer. Its computing speed even surpassed the speed of light. It was unknown how many things could be handled in a second. It was probably the same for the Black Moon Tower. He did not expect Yanhuang University's training ground to have a similar function. Whoosh! At this moment, a wave of energy descended in this room. The dazzling light slowly disappeared, and then a tall figure slowly appeared in front of them. He exuded an oppressive aura like that of a fierce beast. Zhong Yuan. Xia Ping raised his eyebrows. He immediately recognized his opponent in the first round. It was the king's descendant, Zhong Yuan. Chapter 300. I heard that you have the blood of the wind kangaroo and are a boxing expert. Xia Ping touched his chin and said provocatively, I don't know if this rumor is true. Gu Shan is a fake, and I don't know if you are the same. He did this on purpose because he was now at the peak of the 4th level of the martial artist realm and was only one step away from breaking through to the 5th level. If he followed the usual routine, it would take at least 2 or 3 months to break through. However, if there was a strong external force to stimulate him and let him quickly refine the medicinal power in his body, then he could break through to the 5th level, and Zhong Yuan was obviously the best opponent. Ordinary martial artists probably couldn't hurt him at all. Fake? Hearing this, Zhong Yuan clenched his fists and said with a ferocious face, How dare you compare me with that kind of trash? You are too presumptuous. I will use all my strength to cripple you with one punch. Boom! In an instant, as soon as his voice fell, Zhong Yuan punched. Like a thunderbolt, there was a thunderous explosion in midair, piercing through the air, erupting with a terrifying momentum and rolling sound waves. Amazing! Xia Ping was also surprised. He felt that Zhong Yuan's punch had reached the acme of perfection. It was like an antelope hanging its horn, untraceable, and extremely fast, breaking through the sound barrier. He also made a move, slapping over with his palm and operating the North Protective Art. A huge circle formed around his body, like Tai Chi, with yin and yang coexisting. Bang! This powerful, violent, and destructive force blasted over, seeming to penetrate Xia Ping's palm and shatter his bones. However, the North protective art operated, and the energy vibrated thousands of times, constantly weakening this force and passing it to his limbs and bones, tempering his meridians, muscles, and bones, and refining the medicinal power of the 9 transformation spirit-enhancing pill in his body. Suddenly, Xia Ping felt that his muscles, bones, meridians, etc. were improving a little, and even the genuine qi in his body was a little stronger. How is this possible? Zhong Yuan's eyes widened, and he couldn't believe it at all. He was well aware of how terrifying his punch was. Even a powerhouse at the 6th heaven of the martial artist realm would vomit blood on the spot if he were to take his punch head-on. His internal organs would also be severely injured, let alone a mere 4th heaven of the martial artist realm. Such a person should have been sent to the hospital for treatment for a month after taking a punch from him. But now, he couldn't even force the other party to take a step back. This was a little exaggerated. This is your fist technique? I'll give you 8 words of evaluation. You're just a bluff. Xia Ping said disdainfully, I didn't expect the cloud realm to only have this kind of trash. Such a person dares to call himself a genius of the cloud realm. I'm going to laugh my teeth off. Is it because there are too many fake goods in your realm that you've been highlighted? Let me tell you, I won't be using my arms and legs anymore. You can attack me as you please. If you can make me take half a step back, you win. He stood with his hands behind his back and calmly looked at Zhong Yuan. What? Hearing this, Zhong Yuan went crazy. He was so angry that his lungs almost exploded. As a descendant of a king and a direct descendant of the Zhong family, he also had the bloodline of a demon. His talent was superior to others and he was an absolute genius. No one would dare to look down on him no matter where he was. But this damned bastard actually dared to say such words. Zhong Yuan didn't even use his arms and legs and allowed him to attack him as he pleased. Even if he took half a step back, there should be a limit to his arrogance. Good, very good. Since you're courting death, I'll fulfill your wish. Zhong Yuan was extremely angry. He had probably never been as angry as he was today in his entire life. He had completely gone mad. King's Fist Technique, Starry Sky Meteor Fist. In the blink of an eye, he attacked. Within a second, he had blasted out hundreds of fist shadows. His fists were like seals, like the stars in the sky. They were extremely fast. It would have been fine if they were fast, but every punch contained the taste of stars. They were like meteors that shone with dazzling light. They were so dazzling that it was impossible to look at them directly. They were full of destructive power. This kind of punch was enough to kill a monster. When hundreds of fist shadows gathered together, it was the fusion of hundreds of forces. Such power was extremely terrifying. It was said that when this fist technique was cultivated to the extreme, it could even strike down the stars in the sky. Good. Xia Ping's eyes immediately lit up. Such fist force was powerful enough. If it were weak and powerless, it would not be able to harm him at all. How could it help him in his cultivation? Moreover, such fist force was just right. It was powerful enough, so he could only deal with it carefully. Bang bang bang. Inside the room, the fist landed on Xia Ping's body. It was like hundreds of thousands of falling stars, causing a series of explosions. Countless streams of vital energy vibrated like the roar of cannonballs. Amazing. Xia Ping had already known that such fist force was extremely terrifying. However, he only realized how terrifying it was when his opponent's fist force landed on his body. Every punch that landed on his body produced a spiral of destructive power that seeped into his lungs. When this power reached the extreme, it could even strike down stars. How could it be ordinary? Rumble, however, his Dark North body protection technique was a technique that became stronger when it met the strong. The true energy on the surface of his body was constantly vibrating, like a frequency, changing rapidly, resonating with the opponent's fist technique and constantly canceling out the opponent's strength. It was because of such a terrifying power that the energy of the 9 Revolutions Foundation elixir and the fire thorn lizard meat in his body burst out, forming a river of vital energy that flowed around the meridians in his body. Boom! When this true energy reached the extreme, it was like a flood, finally breaking through a hard door. Warrior Realm 5th Heaven. After breaking through the 5th aperture, Xia Ping felt that the true energy in his body was increasing wildly. With a crashing sound, a large amount of true energy was stored in the 5th aperture and filled up crazily. And his muscles, bones, meridians, and even every cell in his body were becoming stronger, and his momentum was rising steadily, twice as strong as before. Boom! Immediately, Xia Ping's body was shocked back by a strong force, like a big river, and the air formed visible sound waves and ripples. What? Zhong Yuan was shocked. Previously, this kid was only a warrior realm 4th heaven, but how did he advance to the warrior realm 5th heaven in an instant? Moreover, his strength was at least twice as strong. How could he fight? He was caught off guard and was sent flying by this force in an instant. His body was like a ball, smashing hard on the wall built by energy. Chapter 301. How is this possible? Zhong Yuan stood up with his eyes wide open. He could not imagine it at all. 5th heaven of the martial warrior realm? When did you advance to the 5th heaven of the martial warrior realm? He was puzzled and a little confused. It's none of your business. Xia Ping said disdainfully. No matter how you attack, you can't even push me back half a step. Tell me, are you a piece of trash? How dare you clamor around with such strength? How dare you? Remember to keep a low profile when you see me in the future. Don't be cocky all day, or I will beat you up every time I see you. It's useless even if I call the ancestors of the Zhong family over, understand? He looked at Zhong Yuan arrogantly. What the hell do I know? Zhong Yuan was so angry that his lungs almost exploded. He could not accept it, from the bottom of his heart. He was just a country bumpkin from planet Yen Huang, a martial artist 5th heaven. How could he be convinced that he was beaten to such a state without even lifting a finger? I understand. Thinking of this, Zhong Yuan showed a look of sudden realization. You must have practiced some kind of method to hide your cultivation and pretended to be a 4th heaven of the martial warrior realm. Then, you erupted with your true strength at the critical moment and caught me off guard. Too shameless, this method is too despicable. I didn't expect you people from planet Yanhuang to use such tricks. If you have the guts, let's fight again after I recover. He believed that Xia Ping could beat him because he was careless and fell into this bastard's trap. Otherwise, how could he not be a match for this bastard? Suddenly, he showed an angry expression and glared at Xia Ping. Beat your sister. With a bang, Xia Ping stepped forward and punched Zhong Yuan's right eye, sending him flying and leaving a black eye. Ah! Zhong Yuan screamed and immediately fell to the ground. Xia Ping punched again and again, as if he was beating up a sandbag. Every punch was extremely heavy, like a hammer. He scolded, "You're still scheming. Scheming my ass. Weak is weak, and you still have so many excuses. Wait till I beat you until even your grandfather can't recognize you, then let's see if you still dare to be so cocky." Bang bang bang. Zhong Yuan screamed again and again as he held his head with both hands. But no matter how he tried to dodge, he was still beaten by Xia Ping. Moreover, Xia Ping didn't hit anywhere else but his face. Soon, Zhong Yuan's face was swollen like a pig's head. Stop. Stop immediately. That's enough. I'm going to flip out if you keep hitting me like this. Zhong Yuan shouted, telling Xia Ping to stop. He grimaced in pain. He had never been so miserable in his life. Still not convinced? Looks like you don't want your third leg. An ominous glint appeared in Xia Ping's eyes. He suddenly moved his leg and kicked Zhong Yuan's crotch. Zhong Yuan was so scared that he wet his pants. Even though he had the bloodline of a ruler and had even inherited the bloodline of a monster, making his body stronger than an ordinary human's, he still had a weakness. If this bastard really broke his third leg, his life would be over. Even if the medical technology was very advanced, even if it was really broken, the severed limb could be regrown. The problem was that it would leave a psychological scar, which was much more serious than being disabled. I admit defeat, I admit defeat. Zhong Yuan no longer dared to hold on and immediately announced his defeat. Boom! As soon as his voice fell, a wave of energy immediately surrounded Zhong Yuan and Xia Ping. In the next second, Zhong Yuan disappeared from the room, while Xia Ping returned to his original position. He actually admitted defeat. Xia Ping touched his chin. He also knew that he probably couldn't hurt Zhong Yuan in this space because the entire space was under the control of the optical computer. Once the other party admitted defeat or the optical computer sensed that his life was in danger, the match would immediately be terminated. This was also a form of protection the school provided to the students. Xia Ping wins and obtains 3 points. The next match will take place after a 15-minute break. A mechanical voice came from the room again. Xia Ping stood in the same place and operated his true qi to recover the energy he had lost in the battle. However, it was strange. Cultivating in this place allowed him to recover his true qi at least 10 times faster than cultivating in the outside world. There were even wisps of life aura coming from the room, seeping into Xia Ping's body and constantly repairing his damaged cells. He faintly guessed that this room was not only a competition arena but also had healing functions. Whoosh! 15 minutes passed in the blink of an eye. Immediately, a man in green appeared in the room. 5th heaven of the martial artist realm? A student from Yanhuang planet? The man in green looked at Xia Ping and seemed to see through Xia Ping's identity at once. His face showed an arrogant look. Admit defeat. If you don't want to be hurt, admit defeat as soon as possible. Otherwise, I will make a move and guarantee that you will become very miserable. Previously, I met a student from Yanhuang planet and seriously injured him with 1 punch. If it weren't for the energy here protecting him, he would have died long ago. I hope you also know the gap between us. You and I are not at the same level at all, understand? He waved his hand and asked Xia Ping to admit defeat. It was no wonder he was so confident. He had the strength of a 6th heaven of the martial artist realm and was born in the cloud realm. Just his martial arts skills alone were much stronger than those born in Yanhuang planet. Therefore, he naturally looked down on Xia Ping and thought that he could solve it in minutes. In an instant, Xia Ping attacked. The speed of his attack was at least twice as fast as before. It was as fast as lightning, so fast that there was no time to dodge at all. The azure-robed man turned pale with fright. Originally, he was still calm and composed, but by the time Xia Ping's palm approached him, it was already too late. He had lost the opportunity to dodge. Bang! The slap landed solidly on the green-clothed man's face, sending 2 of his front teeth flying. He spat out a mixture of blood, and a red handprint appeared on his fair and tender face. Ah! The man in green screamed and spun 5 or 6 times in the air before smashing to the ground. At this time, he was already dizzy and dizzy. Xia Ping condescendingly looked at the man in green with contempt. When you pretend to be ignorant in the future, choose your target. With your strength, you are not qualified at all. Do you understand? You. The man in green struggled from the ground, his face flushed and he was half dead with anger. His whole body was trembling, not knowing whether it was because of anger or the pain. Bullshit. Remember, the person who beat you like this is called Xia Ping. With a bang, Xia Ping did not hesitate and punched the man in green's nose, immediately breaking the bridge of his nose and causing blood to splatter out. The man in green groaned and immediately fell to the ground, losing consciousness. Chapter 302. There are still more than 40 matches. Let's have some fun with them. Xia Ping clenched his fists as he easily dealt with an opponent. He had just broken through to the fifth heaven of the martial artist realm. Now he was itching to fight, and he also needed the help of countless masters to help him stabilize his martial arts foundation. He could even take advantage of this opportunity to gain a lot of hatred. Whoosh! 15 minutes later, the third short-haired student also appeared in the room. He was an expert at the fifth heaven of the martial artist realm. This student. The short-haired student greeted Xia Ping. But before he finished speaking, Xia Ping interrupted him and said, "There's no need to speak, and there's no need to tell me your name. I've defeated too many opponents. I don't need to remember them one by one." What? Hearing these words, the short-haired student was dumbfounded. He had never seen such an arrogant person in his life. What did he mean by not needing to remember the names of the losers? Wasn't this clearly underestimating him and thinking that he would lose? They were all martial artists at the fifth heaven of the martial artist realm. Did this kid actually think that he would win? What? Are you still not convinced? Xia Ping stood with his hands behind his back and said, "I'm not bragging. I'll stand where I am and let you attack me. You won't be able to make me retreat half a step. If you can do this, I'll immediately surrender and admit defeat." He looked at the short-haired student indifferently. Too arrogant. No matter how I attack, I can't make you retreat half a step. Who do you think you are? A martial arts grand master, a king realm expert? Are you kidding me? If you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish. The short-haired student suddenly went crazy. Even a Buddha would be angry when he heard such words, not to mention that he was a martial arts expert and a young man. How could he bear such anger? With a whoosh, without saying a word, he immediately rushed forward and violently beat up Xia Ping, punching Xia Ping's body. But it was obvious that such a punch would not have any effect on Xia Ping. He couldn't take half a step back. Instead, it helped Xia Ping cultivate and refine the medicine in his body. After a full 3 minutes of beating, the short-haired student was exhausted and paralyzed on the ground. All the genuine qi in his body was exhausted. He was panting like a pug. How is this possible? Are you a pervert? The short-haired student was dumbfounded. He couldn't understand this state at all. Just now, he had used all his skills, but he couldn't hurt this kid in the slightest. His defense was terrifying to a complete mess. He had never seen such an opponent in his life. No matter how he attacked, it was useless. Too weak. Seeing that the brat was useless, Xia Ping took action, sending the short-haired student flying with a palm strike. Several of his ribs were broken, and he let out a miserable shriek. Just like that, the competition ended. After that, one opponent after another appeared in the room, and Xia Ping kept provoking them. You must be joking. This is the strength of the Cloud Realm. Could it be that the warriors of the Cloud Realm are all as weak as you? I'm so disappointed. What's wrong with the Cloud Realm now? It has fallen to such an extent that the students can't even defeat me. Is there something wrong with the martial arts education in the Cloud Realm? You dare to call yourselves martial arts elites with such strength? Human elites, why are you so thick-skinned? Could it be that after more than a decade, you have learned nothing but bragging? Harder, harder for me. Did you not eat today? You're so weak even when you're punching. If I really let you go out to hunt monsters, won't they swallow you in one bite? Are you going to fight with the monsters, or are you going to provide food for the monsters? When you go out in the future, don't tell others that you're a student of Yanhuang University. I can't afford to lose face. I'm talking about you, you good for nothing. Don't look around here. There's no one else here. You've grown such big muscles in vain. You don't have any strength at all. How did you get into Yanhuang University? Did you go through the back door? TSK, it's good to be a student of the Cloud Realm. There's a back door to go to school. Students like us from Yanhuang planet don't have such good lives. We're all real. There's nothing fake about it. As these words came out, the students who were fighting with Xiaoping went crazy. They were so angry that they wanted to tear Xiaoping in half. His mouth was too poisonous, and he was simply unforgiving. Go to hell, damn Yanhuang planet. The students of the Cloud Realm are 100 times stronger than you, 100 times stronger, do you know that? Don't push your luck here. How is our strength bragging? Shameless Yanhuang planet people, shut up immediately, and see if I don't tear your big mouth apart. One by one, the students were so angry that their hearts were about to explode. Their blood was boiling, and they attacked Xiaoping madly. They almost used all their strength and showed no mercy at all. But it was useless. Under Xiaoping's Dark North Body Protection technique, these students were not Xiaoping's opponents at all. They didn't even have the power to make him take half a step back. In this way, the 50 games were over. Congratulations to student Xiaoping, 50 games are over, 150 points, and you are ranked first among the freshmen. At this time, a mechanical voice sounded in the room. It's over so soon. At this time, Xiaoping woke up and immediately felt a little regretful. He wanted to continue fighting, but he didn't expect the game to be over so soon. He also had to admit that the combat effectiveness of these Cloud Realm students is extremely strong, stronger than the students of Yanhuang planet. Whether it is true qi cultivation or martial arts skills, they are superior to ordinary students. There are also some who can compete with Mu Bancheng. If he was still in the fourth heaven of the martial warrior realm, it might be difficult to deal with them, but after being promoted to the fifth heaven of the martial warrior realm, it is quite easy. Those who are not at the seventh heaven of the martial warrior realm are not qualified to fight with him. Unfortunately, in 50 battles, he did not encounter a seventh heaven of the martial warrior realm powerhouse. I don't know when such a game will happen again. This feeling is really great. Xiaoping thought happily. After the 50 battles just now, the potential in his body was constantly stimulated. It can be said that this battle is equivalent to his usual 3 months of hard work, and the strength of the true qi in his body is stronger. Boom! At this moment, an energy wrapped around Xiaoping and instantly transferred him out of the room and to a square. At this time, the square was already densely packed with students. These students have just finished the game. Big brother. Xiaoping. As soon as Xiaoping appeared, a voice came from the side. Feng Hetang, Jiang Yaru, Chu Rong, Nangong Wu and others also appeared here and came to Xiaoping's side with a look of surprise. Congratulations, big brother, you won the first place among the freshmen. Feng Hetang admired. Xiaoping asked curiously, how did you know? Chapter 303. Big brother, this news has already been displayed on the school's homepage. The top 10 have all appeared. Feng Hetang immediately tapped on the smartwatch on his wrist. With a snap, a virtual web page immediately popped up. On it were the names of the top 10 freshmen, as well as their personal information and so on. Among them, Xiaoping was ranked first. He had obtained 150 points. This was an undefeated record. Beep. At this time, Xiaoping's smartwatch also rang with a notification sound. 10,000 points were immediately transferred to his student account. Clearly, this result had been recognized by the school. Big brother, you're too amazing. Do you know who's in second place? Feng Hetang said excitedly, he's a direct descendant of the Shao family, a king family. His name is Shao Yishuan, and he's an expert at the 7th level of the fighter realm. He has the Pegasus bloodline and can grow wings on his back. His combat strength is unparalleled. He can be said to be the number 1 of this year's freshmen. However, his points are only 148. He won 49 battles and tied 1. Xia Ping looked at the information on the screen. This Xiao Yishuan was handsome and wore white clothes. There seemed to be a pair of transparent wings on his back. His entire body emitted a holy light, like an angel. Even just by looking at the photo, it was enough to see that Xiao Yishuan's strength was definitely not something an ordinary warrior could compare with. The warrior in third place is also not simple. It's a woman. Jiang Yaru pointed at the third place. Her name is Su Ji. She's also from a king family and has the Fox clan's bloodline. She's an expert at the 7th level of the fighter realm. Her strength is not inferior to Xiao Yishuan. She can be said to be the number 1 of this year's freshmen. Xia Ping also looked at the photo of the woman in third place. She had a perfect white and tender face and an extremely hot body. Her entire body revealed a trace of a fox's charm. Her every movement had a charm that could turn all living things upside down. Especially her pair of eyes, it was as if they could speak. They were clearly not looking at you, but it made you feel as if they were whispering affectionately to you. Big brother, this Su Ji is not simple. Feng Hatang had a wretched look on his face as he said, her beautiful face, hot body, and charming temperament have made her the most famous campus idol in the Sky Realm in recent years. She has more than 100 million fans and countless suitors. Who knows how many men have fallen at her feet? I think she suits you very well, big brother. Xia Ping touched his chin and said, it does look very suitable. Fit my ass. Stop daydreaming. Chu Rong said angrily, don't you know who Su Ji is? The Su family is considered a top family even in the Cloud Realm. They have the support of a King Realm expert. There are several groups of people who want to marry her. If you dare to lay a hand on her, I'm afraid countless people will want to beat you up. Hearing this, Xia Ping's eyes lit up. Really? Is there such a good thing? The corners of Jiang Yaru's, Nangong Wu's, and Chu Rong's mouths twitched. They had almost forgotten that this fellow was a bastard who wished for the whole world to be in chaos. Saying those words would probably not be able to extinguish this fellow's thoughts. On the contrary, it would even arouse this bastard's competitive spirit. Who knows, in the future, it might even cause big trouble for them. Don't mess around. This isn't planet Yan Huang, it's the Cloud Realm. There are many strong people here. If you provoke someone powerful here, even the giant company may not be able to protect you. Jiang Yaru stared at this bastard vigilantly. Xia Ping waved his hand and said, look at what you're saying. This Su Ji is indeed very beautiful, but no matter how beautiful she is, Xia Ping, am still a man she can't get. Big brother, your shameless look is worth learning, Feng Hatang said in admiration. Jiang Yaru, Nangong Wu, and Chu Rong were so angry that they wanted to hammer him. It was obvious that he couldn't get such a beautiful woman, but he was still bragging here. They didn't know how this guy's skin was so thick that even a nuclear bomb couldn't penetrate it. You flatter me. Xia Ping said modestly. He continued to look at the rankings and immediately noticed the 10th place. TSK, isn't that Mu Bancheng? To be able to occupy the 10th place in the freshman ranking competition, that's amazing. He saw the name of the 10th place. It was Mu Bancheng. However, from the 4th place onwards, it seemed that there wasn't much difference in strength between each other. Basically, they were all in the 6th heaven of the martial warrior realm. Their points were also very similar, often only a difference of 1 point. It said that Mu Bancheng advanced to the 6th heaven of the martial warrior realm before school started. His swordsmanship is extremely tyrannical, and he has defeated countless opponents in the Cloud Realm. He's already a little famous. Feng Hatang had a lot of gossip. Because he lost too quickly, he was basically defeated by others in seconds and didn't win many matches. Therefore, he had already come to the square to chat with other martial artists to obtain information. Forget it, don't bother with this kind of small matter. Xia Ping waved his hand. Now that the freshman ranking competition is over, let's go back to the student dormitory to rest. Do you know where we live? He looked at Jiang Yaru and the others. It's said that the dormitory arrangement is based on the ranking of the freshmen. The higher the score, the better the room. The lower the score, the lower the room. Jiang Yaru said, look at your student chip, you should know where you live. The school will send a message to inform you. I see. Then let's go. Xia Ping opened his student chip, and as expected, there was a message from the school. He immediately saw the room where his dormitory was. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Jiang Yaru and the others also nodded. They had also fought for a day and were already very tired. They wanted to go back to their rooms to rest and put away all their luggage. Then, Xia Ping and the others left the square and took the bus to their dormitory. In a place like Yanhuang University, as long as you had a student chip, all transportation was free. There was no need to pay. This was a kind of benefit that the school gave to the students. Soon, Xia Ping arrived at the student dormitory area. There were many high-rise buildings. It was said that every student in such a high-rise building could have a room with 3 bedrooms and 1 living room. However, when Xia Ping arrived at his dormitory, he was extremely surprised. His dormitory was a luxurious villa, covering an area of 300 square meters. It had a garden, independent training room, a pool, a garage, and so on. In comparison, the other students' houses were incomparably shabby. But this was the reward for the first-place freshman. Hee, the reward for first place is awesome. Xia Ping looked at the luxurious villa happily. He immediately used his student chip to pass through the villa's security system and directly walked into his own house. Without the student chip to verify his identity, he would immediately be killed by the security system's death laser. Even a grandmaster would not be able to escape. It could be said that this place was incomparably safe. Chapter 304. At this time, in the square. The first place among the freshmen is actually a student from Yanhuang planet? Are you kidding me? Is there something shady going on here? A student from the Cloud Realm noticed the ranking and suddenly shouted. He couldn't believe his eyes at all. There must be something shady going on. Look at this kid's introduction. He is only at the 5th heaven of the warrior realm. There are a bunch of people stronger than him in the Cloud Realm. How can this guy be the first among the freshmen? Let's see if he has any face left. Immediately check the background of this Xia Ping. Is he a relative or a descendant of the headmaster? Otherwise, why would he open such a back door? This is blatantly giving away points. It's over, this world is over. I thought that the university was the only pure land in this society, fair and just. I didn't expect to encounter such a thing as soon as I came in. Do we civilians still have a chance to make a name for ourselves? Do you think I don't know the martial arts strength of the students from Yanhuang planet? Their place is basically a remote and desolate place with few resources and experts. How could they possibly nurture top-notch experts? Isn't it? Before, when I met some students from Yanhuang planet, they were usually defeated with one punch. Even if they were in the first year of high school, it's just too easy. Protest, I want to protest. Let's march and protest together. We must resist the shady business. Many students were in an uproar, shouting that there was a shady business here. Some people suspected that this guy named Xia Ping was a relative of the headmaster and that this guy got the first place by going through the back door. After all, the strength gap between Yanhuang planet and the Cloud Realm is too big. They are not at the same level at all. Over the years, there have been records of students from Yanhuang planet breaking into the top 10, but there has never been a record of first place. This is simply a fantasy, and these students from the Cloud Realm simply can't accept it. I also think there is definitely a shady business. A student who was beaten like a panda stood up and shouted, I have fought with that bastard Xia Ping in this competition. He does have some strength. An ordinary warrior at the 5th heaven of the warrior realm is not his opponent. But I don't believe that this guy can get first place. He grimaced in pain. When he fought with Xia Ping before, he left a serious injury. Even after emergency treatment, there was obviously no way to recover so quickly. Brother, what the hell is going on with you? Who beat you up like this? You look like you've been through plastic surgery by an unscrupulous doctor, and it's a failure. A student looked at the panda curiously. The panda student said in grief and indignation, "It's that bastard Xia Ping who beat me up. You guys haven't fought him before, so you don't know how ruthless he is. Every move he makes is aimed at my vitals, without mercy. Even when I surrendered and begged for mercy, this bastard didn't let me go. It was as if I owed him billions of federal coins. He even said that he was beating people from the sky realm and beat me to death." Hearing this, the surrounding students from the cloud realm were in an uproar. He was beating up people from the cloud realm. He was too arrogant. Did he not respect the students from the cloud realm? This is way too arrogant. Even if you're a little stronger, you can't bully others like this. That's right, that's right. He beat up people from the sky realm. What right does he have to bully others like this? Does this bastard want to become enemies with the students of the cloud realm? The group of cloud sky realm students immediately cursed angrily. He's not just an enemy. He clearly looks down on the students of the cloud realm. Another student who had been beaten by Xia Ping also stood up. His head was wrapped like a white dumpling, his mouth was like a red sausage, and his face was sad. "I admit that I'm a little weak, and I'm no match for this guy. I was beaten to the point where I couldn't even fight back. I feel very unreconciled about this, and I'm also very ashamed. But after all, he humiliated me, and even humiliated my school. He said that the education level of our cloud realm is very low. If it weren't for taking pills, we wouldn't even be able to break through to the martial warrior realm. If we stay on Yanhuang Star, we can only sweep the streets and be the lackeys of the rich." He gritted his teeth and was very unwilling. "Isn't that right? I also fought with that Xia Ping. That bastard's mouth is so cheap. I have so many muscles on my body, and I'm so big. Is this my fault? That bastard said that I'm not strong enough. I don't even know where to eat. I have no strength at all. I'm as weak as a chicken. I'm born with divine power. How can I be as weak as a chicken? There's a limit to looking down on people. He's too arrogant. Brother, I didn't expect you to be defeated by that bastard Xia Ping." "Me too." After being defeated by him, this guy also clamored that 160,000 people are enrolled in the cloud realm every year. It's too much. This selection system is not reasonable at all. All of them are trash. The number of people should be reduced. It's enough to only recruit 100 people every year. The extra is a waste of resources. The other places should be given to Yanhuang Star. That's the real birthplace of martial arts. It's the place where the Real Masters gather. You guys are fine. I was looked down upon by that bastard because I'm a little thin. He said that he wanted to make me fatter. As a result, he beat me up so hard that my body swelled several times. Even my girlfriend almost couldn't recognize me. The doctor said that this kind of injury would take at least a week to cure, and the medical costs are not cheap. One by one, the students who had fought with Xia Ping jumped out. All of them cursed and vented their inner resentment. They didn't expect that there would be so many victims, and they suddenly felt the same way. He's too arrogant. A small student from Yanhuang Star dares to talk about the school's selection system. No matter how weak the students of our cloud realm are, they are not comparable to the weak chicken students of Yanhuang Star. He can beat these weak chickens with one punch. He's so arrogant after defeating a few people. If he is promoted to the Martial Master realm or even the Grand Master realm, won't he want to go to heaven? Where is that bastard Xia Ping? I'll teach him a lesson and let him know that the students of our cloud realm are powerful. People from these remote places can't compare to us at all. Many students of the cloud realm were angry. All of them clenched their fists, wanting to teach Xia Ping a lesson. Beep. At this time, a school teacher immediately released a message to the students. This freshman ranking competition is fair and just. It's all under the control of the optical computer. There is no sign of human cheating at all. If there are any students who don't believe it, you can spend 5,000 points to check the surveillance video of the Academic Affairs Office. I guarantee that you will get a proper answer. If there are still people who want to incite students, they will be punished immediately. Upon receiving this news, a group of students of the Cloud Realm was stunned and aggrieved. All of them cursed in their hearts. Points were hard to get at Yanhuang University. Who would be stupid enough to spend 5,000 points just to watch such a video? Did they really think they were stupid? Stop joking. Chapter 305. How shameless. They even alerted the Academic Affairs Office. Are they using the Academic Affairs Office's rules to suppress us? No one would believe them if they said they didn't have a backer. They need 5,000 points to find evidence. Do they really think we're stupid? They clearly want to find an excuse to shut our mouths. What a vicious trick. If this isn't bullying others with force, then what is bullying others with force? All the Cloud Realm students were extremely sullen, but they dared not speak up. The school had already issued an administrative order. If anyone dared to incite them, they would definitely be punished. For the freshmen, this was a huge deterrent. No one dared to disobey, but they were all unconvinced. I understand. A student suddenly realized. No wonder the school is so tough this time. They're not worried even if they want us to find evidence. Think about it, this ranking competition is only decided by points. 200,000 people will fight against each other, and each person will fight 50 battles. Whoever has the highest points will win. The problem is, they can also tamper with it. If this bastard Xia Ping bribed the school leaders and had the photon computer assign opponents to weaker students on purpose, he would definitely win all the battles. Some students who fought with Xia Ping heard that they were assigned to Xia Ping because they were weak. Their faces all darkened. However, in front of so many people, they didn't dare to say anything. Some students heard this and suddenly came to their senses. They shouted, "That's right. You're right. I didn't think of this." No wonder the strongest students of our year, Xiao Yishuan and Su Ji, met in this battle. In the end, they fought for 30 minutes without a clear winner, and the photon computer judged it to be a draw. It's because of this battle that they didn't win all the battles. They lost the qualification to fight for the championship by 2 points. He clenched his fists, looking as if he had seen through Xia Ping's plot. Damn, this is an overt plot. Shameless to the extreme. No wonder they're not afraid of us investigating. Even if we really spent 5,000 points to investigate, we probably wouldn't find any problems. Because the opponents are real, and the competition is real. They just tampered with the contestants. Unfortunately, we can't prove this because the school can say that everything is random. What can you do? Some people are really stupid enough to spend 5,000 points, but it's useless. It's completely useless. Everything has been calculated by this bastard. How terrifying. The treacherous Yanhuang planet is too despicable and shameless. In order to get first place among the freshmen, they used all sorts of methods. All the students of the Cloud Realm cursed loudly, thinking that they had seen through Xia Ping's plot. If he had not used such a trick, how could he have defeated all his opponents and obtained first place with his strength of the fifth heaven of the martial artist realm? Even if there were people who could challenge opponents who were a level higher than them, would their Jinchi not be depleted after 50 consecutive battles? Many martial artists had no strength left in the end and could only rely on their hands and feet to beat each other. If he did not have absolute strength, he would not be able to defeat his opponent in a short period of time. They did not believe that Xia Ping had such strength. At this time, in an empty space, a young man dressed in white, his body exuding a holy light, like a sun, was surrounded by a group of students, like stars surrounding the moon. This young man was Xiao Yishuan. Big brother Xiao, that Xia Ping went too far. He actually used such a despicable trick and even bribed the school leader to steal first place from big brother Xiao. If we don't teach him a lesson, what face does our cloud realm have? A student said angrily. That's right. The difference between first and second place is like heaven and earth. He lost 5,000 points. That's 5,000 points. I don't know how many tasks he needs to do to earn it back. Originally, Big Brother Xiao planned to use these 10,000 points to exchange for a King Realm manual, but now it's all gone. It was all ruined by that bastard. We must settle the score with that kid. All the students were extremely angry and felt unreconciled for Xiao Yishuan. Don't be angry. Xiao Yishuan waved his hand and looked very indifferent. It's just a ranking competition for freshmen. It's just a small competition. The school doesn't pay much attention to it, so it didn't hold a competition for the top 10. I guess the school just wants to have a simple understanding of our strength. The real winner will be decided in the future. If that kid is merely someone who uses crafty schemes, then it's nothing great. A true expert in the martial Dao relies on his strength. Those who play tricks will never be able to achieve greatness. His words seemed to contain some kind of rhythm of heaven and earth, causing everyone's mood to calm down and feel a sense of trust from the bottom of their hearts. This was also an extremely strong cultivation technique. That's right. Big Brother Xiao said it too well. Let that kid be complacent for a while. Sooner or later, that guy will give himself away. When he thinks he can climb to the peak, Big Brother Xiao will make a move and kick him down. I guess he will remember this scene for the rest of his life. Everyone laughed loudly. They felt that Xia Ping was nothing to be afraid of. In a luxurious restaurant, many girls gathered here. All of them wore school uniforms and emitted a pure and lively aura. They were extremely beautiful and moving. If someone saw this scene, they would probably think that it was a gathering of female stars in the entertainment circle. However, even among so many beautiful girls, there was one whose beauty stood out from the rest. She sat elegantly on a black chair like an empress, and every move she made emitted boundless charm. The surrounding girls stood beside her, and their eyes revealed admiration. This girl was Su Ji. Big Sister Su. This time, there was actually someone who was able to beat Big Sister Su and that Xiao Yishuan and obtained the number 1 position among the new students. I wonder where he came from. A girl said. I heard that the kid went through the back door of the school to be able to do this. If he didn't go through the back door, would he be able to defeat Big Sister Su? But for a mere 10,000 points, going through the back door of the school is too much of a price. Anyway, that's what everyone is saying. I wonder if it's true or not. A group of girls chattered among themselves. Whether it's true or not, it will be clear after a while. If he's really a fake, then he definitely won't be able to survive in Yanhuang University. He will be miserably dealt with. Su Ji said lightly. She picked up a cup of tea in front of her and drank it elegantly. Her beautiful eyes emitted a frightening cold light with an extremely strong pressure. Chapter 306. Beep beep. After returning to the villa dormitory and putting his luggage away, Xia Ping immediately heard the system's voice. Congratulations to the host for angering a large number of Yanhuang University students. Currently, the host has 647,563 hatred points. More than 600,000 hatred points. I didn't expect to get so much. I'm rich now. Xia Ping touched his chin, feeling very excited. Maybe I can buy basic king-level secret manuals to cultivate. After the freshman ranking competition, although he had obtained a complete victory, he also felt that his combat power was more or less insufficient. There were still too few offensive methods he could use. If he didn't learn more martial arts, it would be easy for others to see through his flaws, or when he did bad things, it would be easy for others to see through his martial arts, thus exposing his identity secret. Thinking of this, Xia Ping immediately searched for martial arts skills in the system. After searching for half an hour, he finally found 2 martial arts skills that were very suitable for the current situation. One was the sound-killing technique, the 8 sounds of the heavenly dragon, and the other was the immovable Buddha's palm. The 8 sounds of the heavenly dragon is an extremely powerful sound-killing technique. By pouring the spirit and will into the sound, it will have a tyrannical power. Even when cultivated to the extreme, a roar can even destroy the soul and cause mountains to collapse, just like the roar of an ancient heavenly dragon. Xia Ping looked at the introduction of the 8 sounds of the heavenly dragon. This technique had a total of 8 syllables, namely, wu, gu, ba, ma, ah, 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 ah. Every syllable that was roared out was twice as powerful as before. When all 8 sounds were roared out at the same time, heaven and earth would roar and the ground would shatter, producing unimaginable destructive power. Ordinary martial artists could not withstand such a blow at all, and their internal organs would be shattered. Before, I still lacked the means to attack a group of people, but after learning this 8 sounds of the heavenly dragon, even if I face the attacks of dozens of people, I can instantly deal with them and kill them. Xia Ping clenched his fists. He looked at the second technique, the immovable Buddha's palm, which was also an extremely powerful martial arts skill. Moreover, this martial arts skill was also extremely special. It was a Buddhist martial arts skill. The so-called Buddha was the Buddha of Buddhism. This was not a human, but a god. Every Buddha was the embodiment of humanity's best wishes. By visualizing a Buddha, one could instill this belief into their own body and unleash incredible martial arts power. In this world, there were many religions. Some martial arts would visualize Buddha, some would visualize angels, and some would even visualize Taoist deities. Some would even visualize some tyrannical primordial great demons, such as phoenixes, true dragons, and so on. Once the visualization was successful, one would obtain unimaginable power. Once I learn this immovable Tathagata palm, not only will I be able to learn a martial technique that is not inferior to the 10,000 beasts fist, but this martial technique is also very beneficial for focusing and strengthening one's mental energy. It can be said to be killing 2 birds with 1 stone. It is also the most suitable martial technique for me at this stage. Xia Ping clenched his fist. The system immediately said, "Host, the exchange of these 2 techniques requires a total of 400,000 hatred points, 400,000 hate points." Although Xia Ping was mentally prepared, he was still shocked. He had worked hard to accumulate so many hatred points, but he had spent more than half of it to exchange for these 2 techniques. However, if these 2 techniques were exchanged at school, I'm afraid he doesn't know when he would be able to succeed, and the school library may not have such a powerful technique that is even suitable for him. Yes. Xia Ping didn't hesitate. He got so much hatred points to enhance his own strength. If he didn't spend it, the hatred points would be meaningless. "Yes, host," the system replied. Rumble. As soon as the voice fell, a mysterious message and technique were transmitted into Xia Ping's mind. This is the 8 heavenly dragons' music. Xia Ping was extremely shocked, and immediately the phantoms of 8 heavenly dragons appeared in his mind. They floated in the endless space, incomparably real, exuding a huge pressure. These heavenly dragons wandered in the universe, expelling everything, like gods, and no living being could resist them. They let out a loud roar, and even produced a sound wave visible to the naked eye in the vacuum. And the roar of each heavenly dragon was different, ancient, mysterious, vast, and chaotic. This was completely different from any known syllable, as if it was the sound of the origin in the depths of chaos. Wu, gu, ba, ma, ah, 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 ah. When these 8 syllables appeared, Xia Ping's body trembled, his blood and qi were rolling like a river, and even his bones were roaring. The true qi in his body gushed out from the depths of his dantian, spread to his throat, and then roared out from his mouth. Wu, Bang bang bang. The sound wave reverberated, and the glass around the villa was immediately shattered into pieces. Even the ground seemed to have been destroyed by a bomb, and terrifying cracks appeared. This. Xia Ping opened his eyes and looked at the scene in front of him, a little stunned. He could not imagine that just a roar could actually make the entire villa like this, as if it had been destroyed by a missile. One had to know that he also knew the lion's roar of the 10,000 beasts' fist. Although it was powerful at that time, it was not as amazing as it was now, condensing into a substance and destroying everything. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. At this moment, 2 or 3 figures immediately appeared in the villa, all dressed like security guards, and each of them had the strength of the martial master realm. They suddenly appeared in front of Xia Ping. What's going on? Was it a sneak attack? They felt the abnormality of the villa, and the villa's security system warned them, so they quickly came over. When they saw the appearance of the villa, they all looked serious. Xia Ping did not expect that his actions would alarm the security guards, so he immediately said, "It's not a sneak attack, but I was just testing a cultivation method, and I couldn't help it, so it caused such damage." What? A security guard said seriously, "In the future, if you want to test martial arts, you can't do it in the villa. You can go to the training room or the school's training room. There are plenty of places there. You will pay for the damage caused here, and you will have to pay 100 points, understand?" He stared at Xia Ping. "Yes, it's my fault. The points can be deducted from my student account." Xia Ping nodded, also admitting his fault, and did not defend himself. "Well, the maintenance staff will be back later. Remember not to test martial arts casually here next time." Seeing that Xia Ping's attitude was good, the security guards did not continue to pursue the matter and left after saying this. "It seems that I can't test martial arts casually in the villa's living room. I'd better go to the training room next door." With this lesson, Xia Ping did not dare to continue to practice in the living room, or he would attract the attention of the security guards again. Chapter 307. In the training room of the villa. Xia Ping sat on the ground, closed his eyes, and a mysterious aura poured into the depths of his mind. Immediately, a huge Buddha appeared in his mind, and his soul seemed to be pulled into a space of nothingness. There was nothing here, only a huge Buddha, whose whole body was emitting a golden light, exuding a sacred, benevolent, vast aura, and faint bursts of Sanskrit could be heard. Motionless. Tathagata. At this moment, Xia Ping observed this Buddha. He felt that his soul seemed to be stained with a golden aura, surrounded by a ball of golden light, and his whole body felt warm. He seemed to understand a trace of the mystery of Buddha. Bang! After an unknown amount of time, Xia Ping suddenly felt a trace of exhaustion in his soul. In an instant, he broke free from this space. When he opened his eyes, he was surprised to see the sun rising outside. It was already the next morning. What? Just like that for a night? Seeing the sunlight shining in from outside, Xia Ping was shocked. He clearly felt that he had only been visualizing Buddha for a few seconds, but when he opened his eyes, a night had passed. Amazing, really amazing. Is this the power of visualizing Buddha? Xia Ping clenched his fists. Just one night of training, he felt that the true qi in his body had also become stronger. Even his soul had condensed a lot, and his mental strength had become much stronger. He felt that the whole world seemed to be clearer. The flow of the surrounding air, the flying trajectory of the insects, the smell in the air, and so on, all had nowhere to hide under the perception of the mental strength. Moreover, the recovery of the true qi in his body was extremely fast, and he was full of energy. It was not like he had just cultivated for a night. His whole body was full of energy, and it seemed that he would not be tired for 3 days and 3 nights. Some people say that the method of visualizing gods is the method of gods. Over time, humans can have the power of gods. It seems that this is not false. Xia Ping felt that he had only visualized for a night, and his soul power had increased. Even his body was shrouded in a faint layer of golden light, like a golden body of glass, full of a sacred feeling. From this, it could be seen that the power of the immovable Buddha palm was definitely a method that pointed to the Great Way. However, although it was morning, Xia Ping did not plan to go to school. Moreover, Yanhuang University did not have any compulsory courses, and there were no teachers assigned to teach. At Yanhuang University, everything depended on self-study. With the initial 100 points, they could enter the school library to buy all kinds of precious secret manuals to cultivate. If there was anything they didn't understand, they could also spend points to find a teacher to help them. Without points, he would need to complete various tasks given by the school in order to continue his studies. This was the education of Yanhuang University's students. After all, the geniuses all had an excellent foundation and had their own martial arts. They no longer needed teachers to teach them in the classroom and spoon-fed education step by step. If he insisted on doing so, it would be an insult to geniuses. If someone slacked off and gave up on themselves, they could laze around for a year. However, if they failed the exam a year later, they would immediately be expelled from Yanhuang University. The competition was extremely cruel. In an instant, 3 days had passed. Xia Ping stayed in the training room of the villa and cultivated diligently. Even though he had been enlightened by the system, learned the 8 heavenly dragons' music, and possessed the immovable Buddha's palm, if he did not completely fuse them with his body, he would not be able to unleash their full might. After these 3 days of cultivation, he had completely mastered these 2 martial arts. His every move emitted a powerful aura and the surface of his body seemed to be covered in a golden light. He was like a Buddha, full of tyrannical strength. Not only did his strength greatly increase, but the qi in his body also increased crazily. Refining the pill in his body, his qi rapidly grew. He had already filled up the 5th acupoint and advanced to the peak of the 5th layer of the fighter realm. Even his mental strength had increased by a large margin. Ding dong! At this moment, the villa's doorbell rang. Xia Ping's heart moved. He turned on his smart watch and a virtual projection appeared. The surveillance outside the door was displayed. Immediately, he saw Jiang Yaru, Chu Rong, Feng Hetang, and Nangong Wu appear outside the door. Come in. Xia Ping pressed the open button and the villa's security automatically opened the door. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Jiang Yaru and the others immediately entered. Xia Ping also came to the villa's living room to receive them. Oh. Your aura seems to be different too. Have you all advanced to the 3rd layer of the fighter realm? Xia Ping immediately sensed that Jiang Yaru and the others had become more than twice as strong as before. Obviously, they had also obtained great benefits in these 3 days. I went to the school library and spent 100 points to exchange for the king-level martial art Buddha Heart Sutra. I visualized Buddha and obtained a trace of enlightenment. It immediately allowed me to break through to the 3rd layer of the fighter realm. My entire body has been sublimated, and the strength of my qi and mental strength have been greatly tempered. This is indeed a king-level martial art. It's too strong. Jiang Yaru was extremely emotional. A powerful martial art was extremely important to a martial artist. Not only the power of martial arts, but even the efficiency of cultivation was not comparable to ordinary martial arts. However, only a super school like Yanhuang University could allow ordinary students to cultivate king-level martial arts. It was impossible for other martial arts organizations to have such a thing happen. Me too. Chu Rong also smiled. Her body emitted an indescribable aura, appearing incomparably sacred. I exchanged for a king-level martial art indestructible lotus technique. I also obtained great benefits and advanced to the 3rd layer of the fighter realm. Her body actually emitted wisps of a strange fragrance. I exchanged for a king-level martial art sky dance demonic technique. It can be said that I also benefited a lot. Nangong Wu had also become completely different from before. Her body was exquisite and well-proportioned, becoming even more perfect. There was a trace of a bewitching aura about her, and every single one of her movements seemed to contain a power that could affect one's mind. Her long legs were even more irresistible. She was simply a demon through and through. Big brother, I exchanged for a king-level martial art gluttonous heart sutra. As long as I eat with all my might, I can transform all kinds of food into majestic energy to strengthen myself and store it in my body. Once there is a need, I can immediately erupt and display a terrifying power that is 10 times stronger than usual. Feng Hatong was proud of himself. However, his body seemed to have become even fatter, like a football. But this was also a tyrannical martial art. As expected, it seems that the school also considered giving you 100 points as the starting point. They should all be for you to exchange for king-level martial arts. Xia Ping nodded. For martial artists, things like elixirs were just external forces that could be obtained at any time. Chapter 308. But what did you all come here for? Xia Ping asked. Big brother, we want to invite you to the Gloomy Corpse mountain range to kill zombies, Feng Hatong immediately said. Xia Ping's eyes flashed. Gloomy Corpse mountain range? What kind of place is that? He had been cultivating for the past few days, so he didn't have time to learn about the geography of the cloud world. The Gloomy Corpse mountain range is a huge mountain range 5,000 kilometers away from Yanhuang University. Jiang Yaru said in a low voice, this mountain range is said to have been a place where humans and demons fought. At that time, tens of millions of people died and tens of millions of demons were injured. Blood flowed like rivers and corpses were everywhere. Moreover, this mountain range is very special. It has an extremely dense yin qi. After hundreds of years, countless zombies, skeletons, demons and other monsters were born there. Hearing this, Xia Ping rubbed his chin. It sounds like this place is very dangerous. Why do we need to go to the Gloomy Corpse mountain range? Killing the zombies in the Gloomy Corpse mountain range is a mission issued by the school. The school needs us to kill the zombies in the Gloomy Corpse mountain range regularly. Chu Rong said, it is said that every 10 years, there will be a zombie tide in the Gloomy Corpse mountain range. Countless zombie armies will come out and devour the humans in the nearby cities, causing great destruction. In order to reduce the power of the zombie tide, we warriors need to go to the Gloomy Corpse mountain range regularly. As long as we kill enough zombies, the school will give us a lot of points. Xia Ping understood. The reason why they wanted to go to the Gloomy Corpse mountain range to kill zombies was to earn points. After all, points were hard currency in Yanhuang University. Without points, they couldn't enjoy a lot of benefits. Moreover, Jiang Yaru and the others spent 100 points to exchange for a king-tier skill. They were penniless, so they naturally wanted to earn points. This was also the thought of many students. But why doesn't the human government send an army to destroy such a dangerous place? Isn't it stupid to let this place exist? Xia Ping thought that with the strength of humans, it would be easy to destroy this place. Nangong Wu shook her head, that's impossible. This Gloomy Corpse mountain range is very special. It has a strange field that can distort the magnetic field. It contains a mysterious space power. It has already formed a unique space world. Only experts below the martial master realm are allowed to enter this space. Cultivators above this realm will be obliterated by the rules of heaven and earth. Even king realm experts are no exception. Humans have also thrown nuclear bombs in there in an attempt to blow up this space, but it was not damaged at all. In the end, the federal government had no choice but to send martial warrior realm powerhouses to regularly clean up the zombies and other monsters in there to minimize the power of the zombie tide. Xia Ping blinked his eyes and sighed with emotion in his heart. As expected of the cloud realm. Even a king realm expert could be obliterated in such a unique environment. It was truly miraculous. Moreover, entering the Evil Corpse mountain range is not only to obtain school points. The bodies of those zombies, ancient corpses, demons, ghosts, and other monsters all contain yin qi beads, which contain pure energy. For martial artists, it has great benefits. Jiang Yaru said, moreover, there are some zombies and even corpse kings that live in this mountain range. They also possess intelligence. Every year, when the corpse tide appears, they kill many humans and demon beasts and plunder countless treasures. If we can break into a corpse king's nest and kill it, it is equivalent to obtaining a huge treasure. Even in such a unique environment, there are many special and precious spirit herbs that grow. Finding one is enough to make a fortune. Therefore, many senior students of Yanhuang University like to enter the Evil Corpse mountain range to explore and obtain treasures. She clenched her fist, her beautiful eyes filled with excitement. She wanted to kill the corpse king and make a fortune. Interesting, let's go and take a look. Xia Ping also wanted to test his current strength. If he could obtain a large number of yin qi beads, he might be able to break through his current cultivation and advance to the 6th heavenly layer. To the Evil Corpse mountain range, we can take a spaceship there. The school has a spaceship that can directly reach there. We can arrive in a few hours. Transportation is very convenient. Jiang Yaru immediately said. Xia Ping nodded, and, then let's go. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. The group immediately left the villa, but just as they arrived at the door, 5 or 6 students immediately greeted them. Each of them had a strong aura. They stood side by side and walked towards them. Fighters of the 9th heavenly layer. Jiang Yaru and the others were all shocked. They could feel the strong aura of these students. They walked over with majestic steps, exuding an aura that was many times stronger than that of ordinary students. Standing in place, they were like mountains that could not be matched. These people could probably defeat them with just a wave of their hands. They wouldn't need to waste any energy. They immediately knew that these students were definitely not new students, but old students who had been in the school for a few years. Otherwise, they wouldn't have this kind of battle-hardened aura. It was as if they had entered countless battlefields and had the experience of life and death. Whoosh! Immediately, a young man who was 185 meters tall, wearing green clothes, and had a cold look in his eyes, took a step forward. It was as if the distance of tens of meters was nothing to him. He didn't pay any attention to the others. He stared at Xia Ping and said with a cold tone, "You're Xia Ping? Who the hell are you?" Xia Ping glanced at him. He was very unhappy with the other's tone. It was condescending and extremely overbearing, as if he was interrogating some criminal. Jiang Yaru and the others also frowned. They felt that this group of people had come with ill intentions. "I'm asking you if you are called Xia Ping. Are you deaf? Answer me immediately," the green-clothed man said impatiently. His powerful spiritual energy fiercely crushed down, trying to suppress Xia Ping. Scram! Xia Ping only said one word. Hearing this, the green-clothed man's expression turned ferocious. He coldly said, "Trash who doesn't know how to appreciate favors. I need to teach you a lesson, otherwise you won't even know the rules." Bang! In the blink of an eye, he immediately made his move. His palm slapped out with the speed of lightning. His palm was covered with tyrannical true qi, which seemed to have locked onto Xia Ping's qi, leaving him with nowhere to escape. The power of this palm was extremely terrifying. If it hit a rock, it would immediately turn into powder. Moreover, the other party was even aiming for Xia Ping's face. It was obvious that he was humiliating Xia Ping. If Xia Ping was hit, he would lose more than 10 teeth in his mouth. It would take him several days to recover. Kuan Peng steps. Xia Ping's eyes flashed. Feeling this tyrannical true qi, he immediately used the Kuan Peng steps. He followed the other party's true qi and retreated, just in time to dodge the palm. Chapter 309. What are you trying to do? Jiang Yaru glared at them and said angrily, "How dare you attack in the school? Don't you know you're breaking the school rules? If the headmaster finds out, you'll definitely be expelled from Yanhuang University. Chu Rong, Nan Gongwu, and Feng Hatang also glared at them. Expelled from Yanhuang University? The man in green sneered, you're just a new student. How arrogant. You want to expel me from Yanhuang University? Do you think you're qualified? Even if I cripple all of you, I won't be expelled from Yanhuang University. Do you believe me? He was extremely arrogant and didn't care about Xia Ping and the others at all. Jiang Yaru and the others were shocked. He was so arrogant that he probably had something to rely on. Otherwise, he wouldn't have dared to say such words. Moreover, these people were too strong. Each of them had the strength of a fighter ninth sky and had opened 9 acupoints. They weren't people new students like them could compare to. Who are you? Why did you attack me? Xia Ping's eyes flashed coldly. He thought he'd never offended this group of people, but they were so ruthless against him. This was no small matter. I'm Su Jianhua. Do you understand? The man in green stared at Xia Ping arrogantly. Su Jianhua. Xia Ping's eyes flashed, you're from Huajing's Su family. Jiang Yaru and the others were shocked. They knew about the grudge between Xia Ping and the Su family. They thought they'd be able to avoid it after coming to Yunshao realm, but the Su family still came knocking. As expected, you're Xia Ping. How else would you know I'm from Huajing's Su family? Su Jianhua's eyes flashed coldly, it seems you also know your sins. You killed 2 of my cousins during Yanhuang University's entrance exam. Your crimes are unforgivable. Have you thought about how you're going to die? He clenched his fists. His body emitted a terrifying aura that shook the ground. The death of your 2 cousins is nothing but their own fault. If they didn't want to kill us, why would Xia Ping kill them? We were just defending ourselves. Chu Rong couldn't help but refute. Shut up. Su Jianhua shouted angrily, I don't care how you die. No matter what the reason is, anyone who dares to kill a member of my Su family will die. My cousin wants to kill you, so you should just obediently close your eyes and wait for death. Who allowed you to resist? It seems that you are also involved in my cousin's death. I will not forgive you. Bang! In an instant, Su Jianhua immediately made his move and punched out. King-grade martial technique, frigid wind fist. Immediately, Jiang Yaru and the others felt a terrifying gust of wind blow past them. The surrounding temperature plummeted, and ghostly wails and wolf howls could be heard, causing their eardrums to ache. This baleful aura was extremely frightening, to the point where it could even affect one's mental state. Even though the fists hadn't reached them yet, Jiang Yaru and the others could already feel their souls being bitten by thousands of malicious spirits. Stop! Xia Ping also made his move, all the true qi in his body gushed out, and he struck out with his palm, motionless Buddha palm. His entire body seemed to be surging with bursts of golden light, and the shadow of a Buddha seemed to appear behind him. Indistinctly, bursts of Sanskrit sounds came from the void, containing unparalleled power. Bang! The 2 forces collided with each other and erupted with a loud sound. All of a sudden, a deep pit was blasted out, gravel splashed everywhere, and Su Jianhua also felt a tyrannical force and couldn't help but take a few steps back. Under such a golden light, the baleful aura of his fist technique seemed to be rapidly melted, as if ice and snow had met the fierce sun, faintly having a restraining effect. However, Xia Ping couldn't withstand the tyrannical power of the other party. His whole body was blasted out, sliding along the ground for dozens of meters, and a deep gully appeared on the ground. He felt that his body was invaded by an extremely yin force, trying to destroy his lungs crazily. Thousands of vibrations, this is an extremely vicious yin force, trying to destroy his meridians and ruin his martial arts future. But Xia Ping immediately operated the Dark North Body Protection Technique, quickly refining and removing this yin force. This force wandered around, constantly tempering his body. Who? After a breath, Xia Ping stabilized the aura in his body and finally refined this power. Not only did this power not hurt him, but it even improved his cultivation a little, and the bottleneck of the fifth heaven seemed to have loosened. He was just one step away from ascending to the sixth heavenly layer. But in the eyes of others, this scene was extremely terrifying. Xia Ping! Jiang Yaru and others exclaimed. They didn't expect that Xia Ping would be seriously injured with just one palm. He took dozens of steps back and his face was pale. This was unprecedented. However, this was also normal. The gap between the two sides was too big. One was a powerhouse of the ninth heaven of the martial artist realm, and the other was a powerhouse of the fifth heaven of the martial artist realm. There was a difference of 4 realms. Just a few dozen steps back. Su Jianhua suddenly frowned and was very dissatisfied. According to his strength of the ninth heaven of the martial artist realm, even if his opponent's lungs were smashed into pieces, it would not be a problem to kill him on the spot. But now, his opponent actually only took dozens of steps back. In fact, he didn't suffer much damage. He was very dissatisfied with the power of his attack and was in a very bad mood. Brother Su, it seems that your cultivation has regressed. You can't even kill a small martial artist of the fifth heaven of the martial artist realm with one palm. Have you been lazy recently? A companion next to him said. I was just lucky. I'll kill him now. Su Jianhua sneered. He instantly attacked, wanting to completely kill Xia Ping with one palm. Immediately, a tyrannical power enveloped Xia Ping and the others. The surrounding air trembled and seemed to be pushed away. Even the ground was creaking as if it couldn't bear this power. Damn it, this guy is too impudent. Jiang Yaru and the others were in despair. These seniors were simply too unscrupulous. They were clearly in the school, but they still dared to do such a thing. Stop! An angry shout came from mid-air like thunder. A figure flew over and lightly slapped with his palm. Like a surging river, it emitted an unparalleled power. Bang! Su Jianhua screamed and his whole body was sent flying. He coughed up blood in the air and flew for hundreds of meters before falling to the ground. Chapter 310. The middle-aged man in black was the teacher in charge of the dormitory. He had the strength of a martial master. When he heard the sound of fighting, he immediately rushed over and stopped the fight. Because this was his duty. Teacher, we are third-year students of Yanhuang University. One of the older students cupped his hands and said, we came here to deal with this Xia Ping. Teacher, you probably don't know, but this Xia Ping has committed a heinous crime. During the Yanhuang University entrance exam, he killed 2 of our companions, Su Jianhua's cousins. That's why we're here to punish this murderer and take revenge. Su Jianhua also stood up at this time, touched the blood at the corner of his mouth, and said, Teacher, I hope you don't interfere. This is my Su family's matter. I must take this bastard's life today. His eyes showed a fierce look, full of murderous intent. Shut up! The middle-aged man in black shouted angrily, who gave you the right to fight in the school? I don't care what grudges you have. Fighting in the school is against the rules, and all of you will be punished severely. He didn't want to know why these people fought at all. Teacher. Su Jianhua said sternly, maybe you still don't know how powerful my Su family is. My brother Su Yunlong is an elite student of Yanhuang University. I hope you can give him some face. This is good for everyone. Elite student? Hearing this, the middle-aged man in black suddenly frowned, a trace of fear in his eyes, but soon the fear disappeared, and he said, so what if you are an elite student? Violating the school rules will also be punished severely, but since you didn't cause any big trouble, you will not be punished for the time being. But there will be a next time. None of you can escape. His tone was very strict, but he did not punish them for violating the school rules. Obviously, he took a step back and gave the other party face. Thank you, teacher. Su Jianhua cupped his hands. He also knew that not being punished was already the best condition. His eyes stared at Xia Ping with disdain, and without saying anything, he turned around and left. The others also looked coldly at Xia Ping and the others, and quickly left. Teacher, these people violated the school rules, why did you let them go? Chu Rong was very dissatisfied. The middle-aged man in black waved his hand. His brother is an elite student of Yanhuang University and has special privileges. As long as he didn't kill you, he will be fine. At most, he will have to pay some points. Elite student? What does that mean? Xia Ping's eyes flickered. Nangong Wu said in a deep voice, in Yanhuang University, students are also divided into grades. Those who have just entered are just ordinary students, and their status in the school is the lowest. One more step and you'll be an elite student. You'll have all sorts of special privileges in the school. You'll be able to enter all sorts of restricted areas in the school. You'll even be able to use points to buy items from the school at a discount. There are many benefits. However, it is extremely difficult to become an elite student. You have to advance to the martial master realm within 4 years. If you don't advance to the martial master realm within 4 years, you will no longer be qualified. Furthermore, you will have to spend a lot of points. It can be said that elite students are the true core of Yanhuang University. Even among the many ordinary students, there aren't many who can be promoted to elite students. What? Jiang Yaru and the others were all shocked. Elite students were at least in the martial master realm. It should be known that on Yanhuang Star, people of this level were enough to become generals. Yeah. It's said that there are people even more powerful than elite students. Those people are called core students and their cultivation has at least reached the master realm. Feng Hetang also told them what he knew. Jiang Yaru asked, they've already advanced to the martial master realm, and even the master realm. Why do they still stay at Yanhuang University? There's nothing strange about it. Nangong Wu said in a deep voice, because Yanhuang University has too many benefits. You can read all kinds of precious secret books at will, and you can even exchange them for all kinds of precious treasures. After you leave, you won't have these benefits. So, all of them stay in school and don't want to leave easily. She pointed out the reasons why some students didn't want to leave Yanhuang University easily. Jiang Yaru and Chu Rong also nodded. That was indeed the case. Once they graduated, they might not be able to use the resources of the school so easily. They didn't know how great the loss would be. It seems that you also know why I didn't punish them. With the protection of elite students, I can't do anything. The black-clothed middle-aged man looked at Xia Ping and the others and said in a deep voice, although Yanhuang University is a university, it's not a safe place. Without strength, there will be no status and no dignity. Although these people can't deal with you inside the school, it's different outside. You guys should be more careful. After saying this, he left because his duty was to ensure that there would be no bloodshed in this place. As for the reason for the conflict between the two sides, he didn't care at all. In any case, it wouldn't do him any good if he knew. Big brother, we're in trouble now. Being targeted by this group of people, I'm afraid we'll be in trouble. Seeing the black-clothed middle-aged man leave, Feng Hetang revealed a bitter face and looked at Xia Ping. With several experts of the 9th layer of the martial realm staring at them, it was no different from being stared at by poisonous snakes. It's nothing. When I break through, I'll immediately kill them. I won't let a single one of them go. Xia Ping's eyes revealed a deep murderous intent. These people were too unscrupulous. They dared to act so viciously in school, what would happen outside? Being targeted by these poisonous snakes, if he didn't deal with this group of people as soon as possible, he wouldn't be able to eat or sleep in peace. But those people are too strong. 9th layer of the martial realm, with 9 acupoints opened, they're not ordinary experts. Jiang Yaru said in a deep voice. Such experts were the top experts of Yanhuang Star, the kind that could be lawless. Don't worry, I'll be able to break through soon and advance to the 7th layer of the martial realm. At that time, I'll be able to kill them like a dog. Xia Ping clenched his fists. Now that he was at the peak of the 5th layer of the martial realm, it wouldn't be long before he could advance to the 6th layer. Even breaking through to the 7th layer wouldn't be difficult. Su Jianhua and the others were just clay chickens and pottery dogs. Hearing this, Jiang Yaru and the others immediately felt relieved. They knew how monstrous Xia Ping was. Advancing to the 7th layer wouldn't be a problem at all. As long as he was given a period of time, this group of people wouldn't be a threat. You're right. Nangong Wu's beautiful eyes revealed a raging fire. She was very unwilling. The most important thing is still strength. We're still too weak, that's why these bastards are so unscrupulous. If we also had the strength of the 9th layer of the martial realm, they wouldn't dare to be so arrogant. We must go to the gloomy corpse mountains as soon as possible. There are opportunities for us to break through there. Chapter 311. Yanhuang University's airport was bustling with people. Many students used this place to go to the major human cities in the cloud world to complete missions and earn points. Xia Ping and the others also planned to board a flying ship from this place and head towards the Yin Corpse City, which was a human city near the Yin Corpse mountain range. Many warriors would temporarily rest in that city before entering the Yin Corpse mountain range. What? Feng Hetang shouted in front of the airport ticket window, you said all the tickets to Yin Corpse City are sold out and we have to wait a week for new tickets? Xia Ping, Jiang Yaru, Chu Rong, and Nangong Wu didn't expect this either. They all looked at the ticket seller. At Yanhuang University, the tickets were divided into two parts. One part was sold online, and the other was sold at the front desk. This was to prevent people from using technical means to buy all the tickets and then resell them. So when they saw the tickets online were sold out, they went to the front desk to buy them. They didn't expect a week's worth of tickets to be sold out. That's right, they're all sold out. The ticket seller shrugged helplessly. Every year when new students enter the university, there are many students who go to the Yin Corpse mountain range to complete missions to hunt zombies. So during this time, the ships are quite busy and the tickets are all sold out. I can't do anything about it. If you want to go, you'll have to wait a week. Wait a week. Jiang Yaru and the others were speechless. They had just entered the university and training was a race against time. If they missed a week, they wouldn't know how much they would fall behind the other students. Others could hunt zombies in the Yin Corpse mountain range to earn points, but they could only stay in the university and train. The difference was huge. But this was also because they didn't think it through. They thought they could buy tickets at any time, but they didn't expect the flights to Yin Corpse City to be so busy that they didn't even have a ticket. Jiang Yaru was very depressed. There's no other way. Looks like we can only wait a week. Chu Rong and Nangong Wu nodded. Yanhuang University was 5,000 kilometers away from the Yin Corpse mountain range. Who knew how many mountains there were and how many terrifying monsters lived there? Without a ship, they wouldn't even be able to reach the Yin Corpse mountain range in a month. Moreover, if they were careless and met some terrifying monsters, they would be eaten as snacks. At this time, a group of students from the Cloud Realm walked over. They were carrying bags of various sizes and looked very arrogant. Their leader was Zhong Yuan. They had also noticed Xia Ping and the others. Ha, isn't this the famous Xia Ping who is known as the #1 freshman? What a coincidence, you're also buying a plane ticket, but it looks like you won't be able to get one. Do you have to wait for a week? At this moment, Zhong Yuan immediately walked over with a malicious look on his face. He was looking for trouble on purpose. Because in the freshman ranking competition, he had been ruthlessly beaten by Xia Ping, and was basically eliminated in the first round due to heavy injuries. He didn't even have the chance to fight for the top 10. This result caused him to be fiercely reprimanded by the Zhong family elders, saying that he had lost all face for the Zhong family. Even the cultivation resources that the Zhong family gave him were reduced by a lot. One could imagine how much he hated Xiaoping. If it weren't for this bastard, he would have had a chance to fight for the top 10 in the school and get 1,000 points. But now, it was all gone. This is strange. Even the famous Xiaoping can't buy a ticket. This is big news. In order to become the #1 freshman, he even bribed the school leaders and openly cheated, but now he can't even buy a plane ticket. This joke is really too funny. Maybe it's because he bribed the school leaders and spent all his money. He doesn't have anything left, not even the money for the plane ticket. Poor guy, spending so much money for a little vanity. Who knows what will happen to him in the future? What else can he do? He probably can't even pass the final exam and will be directly kicked out of the school. One by one, the students from the Cloud Realm sneered and looked at Xiaoping with disdain. Jiang Yaru and the others all clenched their fists and glared at these bastards. I can't buy a ticket. What about it? Do you want to give me a few tickets? Xiaoping asked with a smile. He didn't seem angry at all. Fuck you. Zhong Yuan clenched his teeth. This bastard still had the face to beat him up so badly, causing his status in the Zhong family to drop. It was already good enough that he didn't beat this bastard into a pulp, but he still wanted him to give this brat a plane ticket. There was no such thing in his dreams. I do have tickets, but none of them belong to you. Zhong Yuan rolled his eyes and then put on a magnanimous expression. Of course, if you kneel on the ground and kowtow to me in apology, I might be merciful enough to give you a few tickets. He revealed a sinister smile. Has your IQ dropped after being beaten up by me? Have you seen a doctor? If it's serious, it might affect your kidneys. You need to be careful. Xiaoping looked at Zhong Yuan as if he was looking at an idiot. Brother Zhong, this bastard is looking at you as if you're retarded. He's looking down on your IQ. Damn it, one of Zhong Yuan's lackeys immediately shouted and pointed at Xiaoping. What the fuck are you looking at? Have you never seen such a handsome person before? My brother Zhong's IQ is very normal. He's at least in the top 10 in the school, and there's nothing wrong with his kidneys. He's not someone you can compare to. If you dare spout nonsense again, we won't be polite to you. If you don't know how to talk, don't talk nonsense. You should know that a loose tongue can cause trouble. One by one, the Sky Realm students jumped out and scolded Xiaoping. Zhong Yuan, control your dogs. Don't let them come out and bite people, Xiaoping said lazily. This bastard. The group of Sky Realm students was so angry that they wanted to rush up and bite this guy to death. This was too infuriating. Xiaoping, continue to be arrogant. I'll see how long you can be arrogant. Zhong Yuan waved his hand and stopped his lackeys behind him. He sneered and said, you won against me once because you used tricks. That's not your real strength. If I, Zhong Yuan, am serious, I can beat you up like a dead dog in any second. Of course, I don't have time to talk to you right now because we have to catch a spaceship. After saying this, he turned around and left, as if he didn't want to say another word to Xiaoping. The other Sky Realm students also glared at Xiaoping and quickly left with their heads held high. What's so great about these guys? I just bought a few tickets in advance, and they're so cocky. Feng Hatang gritted his teeth. He was very unhappy. It's okay. It's not a big deal if I can't buy the tickets. I still have a way to go. Xiaoping waved his hand calmly. What? Chapter 312. Yanhuang University, an airship sales center. Big brother, why did you bring us to this place? Feng Hatang looked at Xiaoping with a dumbfounded expression. The luxurious airship sales center he entered was filled with a luxurious and noble atmosphere. Even though he came from a large family, he had never been to such a high-class place before. There was no other reason, it was because the things here were too expensive. An ordinary spaceship was worth a few billion. Who could afford it? Nangong Wu, Chu Rong, and Jiang Yaru were also dumbfounded. They looked at Xia Ping, not knowing what to do. Nothing much, I just came here to buy an airship. Haven't all the tickets been sold out? Then I'll just buy an airship and fly there myself. There's no need to buy a ticket. Xia Ping's face was indifferent. Buy an airship? Feng Hatang's mouth twitched. He had never heard of such a thing before. Someone bought an airship just because they didn't have a ticket. Too domineering. They really didn't treat money as money. Jiang Yaru and the others finally understood. No wonder Xia Ping was so confident. He said he didn't need a ticket to go to the gloomy corpse mountains. Indeed, if he bought a private airship, he could go there directly. The problem was that it was an airship, not some cat or dog's toy. The cheapest one was worth several billion federal dollars. The more expensive ones didn't need to be said. There were even hundreds of billions of federal dollars. Mr. Xia. At this time, a middle-aged man wearing a black suit walked out. He looked at Xia Ping and the others with a smile. He was the manager of the airship sales center. Have you prepared my private airship? Xia Ping asked directly. The man in the black suit immediately said, It's already prepared. It's our company's most advanced private airship. It's called the Radiant God. The interior is luxurious. It has a swimming pool, a private cinema, a massage room, a sauna, a game room, and so on. It has all kinds of entertainment facilities. This airship can accommodate 50 people. It's installed with the most advanced Radiant God's 7th generation engine. It can reach an average speed of 2,000 kilometers per hour. It can give you a different feeling. Moreover, the energy consumption is very low. It's environmentally friendly. As for safety, you don't need to worry about it. It's installed with laser beams, wave cannons, energy shields, and so on. Even if a master comes close, he'll be killed. As for piloting the spaceship, that's even less of a problem. It's installed with an optical computer, and everything can be controlled by the optical computer. As long as you give the command, it will automatically fly and land. There's no need for a captain. All you need to do is stay on the spaceship and enjoy the trip. His saliva flew everywhere as he listed a bunch of benefits of this spaceship. How much is this spaceship? Feng Hatang blinked his eyes. Even he knew how good this spaceship was. If he had one, he would be able to go anywhere in the sky realm. It's not very expensive, just 35 billion federal coins. The middle-aged man in the black suit smiled and said, However, Mr. Xia is an internal member of our giant company. Naturally, he also has an employee price. He can be bought for 20 billion federal coins. 20 billion federal coins? This was not expensive. What a joke. Jiang Yaru and Chu Rong were both dumbfounded. Even if they were to advance to the 9th layer of the fighter realm, they might not be able to earn such a huge sum of money even after spending hundreds of years. Even if they were to advance to the martial master realm, they would have to spend hundreds of years. Only at the Grand Master realm would they barely qualify. It could be said that unless they were super rich, they wouldn't be able to afford it. Nangong Wu was also dumbfounded. Even if she was from the Nangong family, an aristocratic family, 20 billion was too much. To buy this spaceship, they would have to spend all their money. Big brother, you're too awesome. Feng Hatang was so impressed that he couldn't say anything. 20 billion federal coins? Looks like the identity of an employee of the giant company is quite valuable. I've saved 15 billion. Xia Ping was very satisfied. He saw his identity as an employee of the giant company, so he bought it from this spaceship sales center. As expected, he saved half of the money. For ordinary martial artists, this price was simply too high to reach. However, for the 100 billion federal coins he had previously obtained, it was just a small portion. Then can I drive this spaceship away? Xia Ping immediately asked. The middle-aged man in the black suit immediately said, "Of course, there's no problem. The spaceship is inside. As long as Mr. Xia carries out fingerprint verification, genetic verification, and other procedures, you can immediately drive it away." "Sure." Xia Ping nodded and quickly paid the bill. Following that, the middle-aged man in the black suit brought Xia Ping and the others to a plaza in the sales center. There was a small private spaceship parked there. It was completely black and had a sci-fi feel to it. It was even loaded with powerful weapons. Xia Ping boarded and immediately carried out a series of procedures to make the spaceship recognize its owner. "Master, Xia Ping, verification successful. May I know what orders Master has for me?" A sweet female voice came from the spaceship. "Let's go, to the gloomy corpse mountains." Xia Ping immediately gave the order, not wasting any time. At this time, Jiang Yaru and the others also boarded the spaceship and sat down. Boom! As soon as the voice faded, the spaceship shook and flew towards the sky at an extremely fast speed. "If we meet Su Jianhua on the way, kill him directly." Xia Ping sat on the spaceship and clenched his fists. A cold light flashed in his eyes. With this powerful spaceship in his hands, he had nothing to fear. At this time, in a cafe in Yanhuang University, Su Jianhua and the others gathered together in a private room. "Jianhua, that new student called Xia Ping is really arrogant. He just entered the school and he's already so arrogant. He doesn't even put us seniors in his eyes. After a period of time, won't he overturn the heavens?" A yellow-clothed student clenched his fists. He really didn't like Xia Ping. He even killed Brother Su's cousin without any scruples. If he isn't arrogant, who would be arrogant? But I have to say, this kid is indeed a monster. Indeed. He's only at the 5th heavenly layer of the fighter realm and yet he can withstand a blow from Jianhua. That's a little terrifying. If he advances to the 9th heavenly layer, none of us will be his opponent. He can kill us with a single slap. If such an enemy doesn't die, we won't be able to eat or sleep in peace. The seniors spoke one after another, their eyes filled with killing intent. They had lived in this place where the strong preyed on the weak for so long. They had long cultivated a vicious and merciless character. Anyone who posed a threat to them would be killed without mercy. Of course, this Xia Ping is the enemy of my Su family. If he doesn't die, who will? Su Jianhua sneered. The previous attack was just to test his strength. The next time we meet, it will be the day of his death. I've already sent people to follow him. Once he leaves Yanhuang University, we'll immediately follow and kill him. Chapter 313. The other seniors nodded. It was impossible to kill people in Yanhuang University. There were cameras everywhere. Once they did it, they would be in big trouble. At that time, even elite students would not be able to handle it. But after leaving Yanhuang University and coming to the outside world, it was normal for a few people to die. Even Yanhuang University would not be able to find out who did it. Bang! At this moment, the door of the room opened and a man in blue hurried in. "Shaoli, you're here. Do you have news about Xia Ping?" Su Jianhua immediately recognized this man in blue. He was the one who had ordered this man to follow Xia Ping's group. "Brother Su." A man in blue walked in and said in a low voice, "You told me to follow Xia Ping. I've already received news that he bought a Radiant God flying ship and is heading to the Een Corpse mountain range." His expression was very strange, containing a trace of jealousy. "What?" Hearing this, Su Jianhua could not help but jump up. He bought a Radiant God flying ship. What a joke. Even I can't afford such a flying ship. It's worth over 30 billion federal coins. How can a city enforcement officer's son afford it? His eyes turned green. He was very shocked. He had investigated Xia Ping's identity. He was just an ordinary citizen. Even if he was chosen by the giant corporation because of his cultivation talent, it did not mean that he was rich. After all, even a strong martial artist needed time to slowly grow. But this kid had soared to the sky and was even more luxurious than him, a direct descendant of the Su family. Radiant God flying ship. That's too exaggerated. Even for elite students, there aren't many who can afford it. Where did this kid get so much money from? Even a member of the giant corporation can't be so extravagant. I heard that his background is ordinary. His father is just a city enforcement officer. What a joke. Even if he's from a king family and is a direct descendant, he can't have so much money. Indeed. Although the king family is rich, they have too many descendants. On average, not all of them can be so rich. These king descendants can't afford it either. Fortuitous encounter. Without a doubt, this kid must have had a fortuitous encounter. Maybe he found some ruins. That's why he got rich overnight and spent money everywhere. If I can capture this brat and torture him, I might be able to force out his secrets. Many of the older students discussed among themselves, and their eyes were filled with greed. Although they were also students of Yanhuang University, they didn't have that much money. Even if this brat managed to get his hands on some crumbs, it would be enough to fill their brains with fat intestines. However, this radiant god flying ship is equipped with powerful weapons. It's said that it can even kill grandmaster experts. If we get close, we won't be a match for it. One of the seniors was extremely vigilant. Su Jianhua gave a cold laugh. There's no need to worry, this brat will go to the Yin Corp's mountain range and will definitely stop his flying ship at Yin Corp City. It's impossible for him to bring this flying ship in. Once he leaves the spaceship, he's just a piece of trash in the fifth heaven of the martial artist realm. I can kill him like a dog. His eyes revealed a ruthless look. In that case, what are we waiting for? Immediately chase after him and slaughter this brat. I originally thought he was a poor brat, I didn't expect him to be a hidden rich man. If we can force out his secrets, then we'll be rich. Advancing to the Grandmaster realm shouldn't be a problem. Many of the older students said excitedly. Now it wasn't just Su Jianhua's matter, even they were tempted. They wanted to kill Xia Ping for his treasures. However, the tickets to the Yin Corp's mountain range are all sold out. They're all lined up for a week. Someone said in a low voice. Su Jianhua waved his hand, don't worry, my brother knows some rich elite students. They also have private flying ships. As long as we ask, they'll definitely be willing to lend it to my brother. Many of the teachers nodded and clenched their fists. Xia Ping, let's see where you can escape to this time. Once you leave Yanhuang University, there won't be any teachers to protect you. At that time, I'll definitely tear you into pieces. Su Jianhua's eyes revealed a deep killing intent, making people shudder. 2 hours later. So. In the sky, a large flying ship descended from the sky, arriving at the Yin Corp City's airport. One by one, the students came down from the huge flying ship, feeling the fresh air outside. Zhong Yuan and the others also came down from the flying ship. They were all in high spirits, their faces full of smiles. Quickly look, that's the radiant god. A student immediately noticed the luxurious small flying ship in the sky because this private flying ship was too eye-catching. Among the large flying ships, it was simply a crane among chickens. The roaring engine, the high-grade titanium alloy without any scratches, the bright reflection that blinded people, and the elegant temperament, this private flying ship from top to bottom revealed one word, rich. Damn, just which rich person is it? This is the radiant god, it's said to be worth 35 billion federal coins. Even among the king families, there aren't many that can afford it. A student sighed in admiration, enviously watching the flying ship descend. For men, steel machines represented romance. From the super sports cars of 1,000 years ago to the universe ships of this era, which man didn't dream of driving their own universe ship and sweeping across the world? It was a pity that being able to do this, no matter what era it was extremely rare, so it was called a dream. Without a doubt, he must be a descendant of some king family that is endlessly doted on. I'm so envious. It's so good to be a rich person. We could only buy plane tickets and fight for tickets all night, not sleeping a wink. But this guy came here directly in a private flying ship. This is traveling at any time, anywhere. Comparisons are really infuriating. The gap is too big. He's just a new student, yet he's so arrogant, driving a private flying ship. How inhumane. The group of students were all envious, jealous, and hateful. They simply wished that this private flying ship belonged to them. I wonder what kind of person is driving this private flying ship. If it's some young master from a noble family, and he's also handsome, perhaps we can go up and get to know him. When the time comes, we might even become phoenixes. To be able to have such wealth, his family's power must be terrifying. This kind of man is an excellent man. When the owner of this flying ship comes down, we'll immediately go up and get to know him. If he takes a liking to me, we'll be rich. Hey, stop showing off here. It's as if you've never seen a man in your life. You can't even close your legs. Aren't you the same? Your face is full of peach blossoms. I bet you can't wait to pounce on him. The group of girls chattered, their eyes lighting up. Quickly look, the owner of that private flying ship has come out, a student shouted. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Chapter 314. Fuck, isn't this Xiaoping? When a group of people came out of the spaceship, a student immediately shouted. He stared at the owner of the private spaceship, unable to believe his eyes. Zhong Yuan and the others were also shocked and speechless. What? That's Xiaoping from Yanhuang planet? How is it possible? Didn't he not buy a plane ticket? It will take at least a week to arrive at Incorp City. Damn, he already has a private spaceship. Why would he buy a plane ticket? That's a trip he can take. The evidence is irrefutable. The evidence is irrefutable. If he has the money to buy a private spaceship, it would be a piece of cake for him to bribe the school's leaders. Shameless. So what if you have money? You can do whatever you want. If you want to be first, you can be first. Is there any justice in this world? I'm not convinced. He's just a bumpkin from Yanhuang planet. Why is he living such a comfortable life? He even brought a private spaceship with 2 or 3 beauties to train. Isn't that right? Even the heir of a king family is not as arrogant as him. Why is this kid so rich? It must be corruption and bribery. I suggest we immediately investigate where this kid got his money from. I can guarantee that the money is not clean. God knows how much wealth he has plundered from the people. All the Sky Realm students were so angry that their teeth itched. They were very unconvinced and their eyes were green. A bumpkin from Yanhuang planet was living a better life than them. Was there any reason to speak of? Was there any unity? Brother Zhong, this kid is a local tyrant. No wonder he was not nervous at the airport. It turns out that he has a private spaceship. A Sky Realm student gritted his teeth. But this kid has a private spaceship. Why does he still go to the airport? Can't he just leave? Is there a need to ask? It must be because this kid has never taken a public spaceship in his life. This time, he is going to understand the situation of the people. To put it bluntly, he is going to watch a monkey show. Bastard, so many of us worked hard to buy plane tickets and squeeze into a spaceship. Is it just for this guy to watch a monkey show? Even if he looks down on people, there should be a limit. A group of Sky Realm students bared their teeth. They simply wanted to rush up and beat up this Xiaoping who looked down on them. This bastard. Zhong Yuan's face was extremely gloomy. He was also a descendant of a ruler clan, yet he was being toyed with like a monkey. This was a great humiliation. He couldn't stand this at all. Oh my, isn't this Zhong Yuan? What a coincidence, you've also just arrived at Corp City. Xia Ping also noticed Zhong Yuan and the others and immediately went forward to greet them. Jiang Yaru and the others followed suit. However, Zhong Yuan's expression was very dark and he did not say anything. But why would a descendant of the king's clan have to take this kind of public transportation and work so hard to squeeze in traffic with some commoners? He even didn't sleep for an entire night to fight for a ticket. Is it because his family didn't give him money? Xia Ping smiled at Zhong Yuan. Just tell me if you don't have any money. I can lend it to you. I don't have much, but I do have a lot of money. He put on a generous face. You. Zhong Yuan and the others were going crazy. Their lungs were about to explode from anger. How could they not hear Xia Ping's sarcastic words? He was clearly mocking them. Damn it. So what if you have money? What right do you have to be so cocky? It's as if you're afraid that others don't know you're rich. The group of Sky Realm students wanted nothing more than to beat Xia Ping up when they saw him like this. They really couldn't stand this brat for even a second. Ha, Zhong Yuan, you're really useless. Even a little commoner can mock you. You've really lost the face of our king's clan. Suddenly, a voice was heard. Whoosh! 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 Everyone looked into the distance and saw a young man dressed in luxurious clothes walking over. His every movement carried the aura of a noble young master. His hair was combed back and he had even put on some gel. His leather shoes were polished until they shone, and he was meticulously groomed. Behind him were more than a dozen students, who walked over arrogantly. LV Weihai. Zhong Yuan clenched his fists and his expression was gloomy. He immediately recognized the young man's identity. What? This is the legendary LV Weihai. I heard that he ranked 7th in the freshman ranking competition this time. He was at the 6th heaven of fighter before, but look at his aura now. He's probably at the 7th heaven. I heard that he reached the peak of the 6th heaven when he first entered the school. He should have broken through after a few days. I heard that LV Weihai is also a genius from a king's clan. The LV clan is also a famous clan in the Sky Realm. They're very rich and their businesses are spread all over the Sky Realm. Amazing. This is a true genius. He's rich and powerful, unlike a fake like Xia Ping. Many students discussed among themselves and looked at LV Weihai in awe. LV Weihai didn't pay any attention to Zhong Yuan. When he saw Jiang Yaru, Chu Rong, and Nangong Wu, his eyes immediately lit up. TSK, I didn't expect to see 3 such beautiful ladies here. What an honor. I wonder if you do me the honor of having a meal with me, LV Weihai. He put on a frivolous expression and didn't care about Xia Ping at all. It was as if he treated him like air. Scram! Jiang Yaru said indifferently. What? LV Weihai's expression darkened. He couldn't help but clench his fists. With his reputation and the status of the LV clan in the Sky Realm, who would dare to refuse him? An ordinary girl would rush to him like a flock of ducks when they heard an invitation like this. But this woman dared to tell him to scram. Too presumptuous. Ha, did you hear me telling you to scram? Do you think you can act like a gentleman just because you combed your hair back? Who doesn't know that you're just a good-for-nothing on the outside? Feng Hetang said with disdain. Hurry up and scram. When my big brother gets angry, even I'm afraid. A useless rich second generation like you wants to be arrogant in front of my big brother? Do you understand? He was very unhappy with LV Weihai. He actually dared to flirt with his big brother's woman in front of him. He simply didn't know how to write the word death. Everyone laughed and looked at LV Weihai as if they were watching a good show. Miss, I think you should reconsider. After all, I'm LV Weihai. LV Weihai's expression darkened when he saw the looks in the eyes of the people around him. However, he remained unmoved. His voice was low and his eyes emitted a strange light. It seemed to contain a mysterious power. Chapter 3:15. What? Hearing Jiang Yaru's voice, Feng Hatang and the others were all shocked. What was going on? This guy had only said a single sentence, so why did Jiang Yaru's attitude change so drastically? Very well, then come over here. Tonight, we can have some fun. LV Weihai revealed a strange smile. Oh okay. Jiang Yaru's body was swaying, and she immediately wanted to walk over. Xia Ping immediately sensed that something was wrong. His spiritual force was stronger than ordinary people, so he immediately sensed that there was an evil spiritual force enveloping Jiang Yaru's body, causing her to fall into chaos. Without a doubt, this LV Weihai must have used some kind of evil secret technique to make Jiang Yaru like this. Woo! Without another word, Xia Ping immediately let out a roar. Heavenly Dragon's music. With a bang, a roar exploded in the air. It was like the roar of a lion king in the forest, and also like the rumbling of thousands of war drums on a battlefield, erupting with extremely terrifying sound waves. This sound contained the power of a secret technique, and possessed terrifying destructive power. Like a wave, it condensed in the air and spread out in all directions. Ah! Instantly, LV Weihai was caught off guard, and immediately let out a miserable scream. His body had been attacked by Xia Ping's sound waves, and had suffered extremely terrifying damage. His entire body seemed to have suffered a backlash from the secret technique, and his body was sent flying. His lungs were heavily injured, and he directly flew more than 10 meters before finally falling to the ground. At this time, blood was flowing out of his eyes, nose, and mouth, and he looked extremely miserable. Huh! When LV Weihai was sent flying, Jiang Yaru also regained consciousness, and stopped moving. However, her eyes were still a little blank, not knowing what had just happened. Damn it, what did you do to Brother Lu? You scoundrel, you actually dared to sneak attack. Do you want to die? The group of students behind him were all enraged, and actually rushed up to attack Xia Ping. Their attacks were extremely ruthless. Courting death. Xia Ping slapped out with his palm, and all the true qi in his body surged. Like a giant bear, he emitted a terrifying aura. Myriad Beast's Fist's third move, Bear-Splitting Claw. A giant bear claw appeared in mid-air, and true qi vibrated, containing unparalleled power. Like a flood, it bombarded the group of students. Bang bang bang. The group of students screamed as they were sent flying, coughing up blood in mid-air. Several of their ribs were broken, as if they were being trampled by a giant bear. They were not a match for him at all. Zhong Yuan and the others were shocked. Their pupils constricted. They did not expect Xia Ping to be so fierce. He was so arrogant that he would attack without saying a word. LV Weihai. Xia Ping glared at LV Weihai and clenched his fists. You actually dare to use your secret spirit technique to deal with others. How dare you? Believe it or not, I'll cripple you on the spot. He was infuriated. He never imagined that LV Weihai would be so arrogant. He actually dared to use a secret mental technique against Jiang Yaru in front of so many people. If he hadn't seen through it, perhaps Jiang Yaru really would have obediently left with him. Who knew what would happen after that, and the consequences would be unimaginable. Spirit occult technique? That's right, that girl looked absent-minded just now. Didn't she look like she was being controlled? It must be the LV family's king-level art, hypnosis art. It's said that the LV family relies on this hypnosis art to be successful in business. Their opponents often sign contracts that are disadvantageous to them without knowing anything. Who knows how much profit they've obtained by using these methods? Isn't it said that this kind of hypnosis art is strictly forbidden to be used on humans? If anyone violates it, they'll definitely be heavily punished. That's just saying. The LV family is a king-level clan. They're rich and powerful. Who can stop them? That's true. If they use it in secret, no one will be able to detect it. Many students were discussing among themselves. They quickly found out what method LV Weihai had used just now. He actually used the hypnosis art to deal with a girl. One could imagine how despicable such a method was. It was no wonder that Xia Ping was so angry. Damn it! Jiang Yaru finally recovered. His expression was ugly as he glared at LV Weihai. If it weren't for Xia Ping beside him, he would have already fallen for this bastard's trick. This hypnosis art was truly too frightening. It was a supreme secret technique that utilized mental strength. Martial artists with strong mental strength could still resist it, but martial artists with weak mental strength would be instantly subdued. They were simply not a match for it. Chu Rong and Nangong Wu were also extremely angry. This LV Weihai was simply a scum. If he dared to do this to Jiang Yaru today, then wouldn't he do the same to them tomorrow? Looking at this guy's practiced methods, it was likely that many women had fallen under his hands before. Damn brat, you actually dared to sneak attack me? LV Weihai stood up and glared venomously at Xia Ping. In his entire life, he had never suffered such a big loss. It was all because of a single shout from Xia Ping that he had almost lost his mind. It had to be known that although the hypnosis art was a mental technique, it was extremely strange and powerful. If one wasn't careful, they could still injure themselves. So one had to be careful when using it. In the past 18 years, he had never met a human who could resist his hypnosis art. But now, because of a moment of carelessness, he had actually fallen for this brat's sneak attack. One could imagine just how angry he was right now. Sneak attack you? You think you have the qualifications to say such words after using such a sinister secret technique? For the sake of our fellow students at Yanhuang University, I won't kill you. But you must immediately kneel down and apologize. Otherwise, I'll cripple you. Xia Ping said calmly, his tone filled with a monstrous killing intent. Kneel down and apologize? You think you have the qualifications to make me, a member of a king clan, kneel down and apologize? Who do you think you are? Do you have the face to do that? LV Weihai was so angry that he started laughing. His eyes shone with a frightening light, as if there was a chaotic aura swirling in the depths of his pupils, containing a mysterious power. Even if someone has to kneel, it should be you, you bastard. Kneel immediately. With a furious roar, a frightening mental pressure pressed down on Xia Ping's body. This pressure was over 10 times stronger than the one used on Jiang Yaru. It could be said that Xia Ping was serious. Immediately, Xia Ping felt as if his head had been struck by a hammer. Sparks flashed in his head, and his consciousness blurred. His body bent slightly, as if he was about to kneel before LV Weihai. Kneel. Anyone who dares to disobey me must die. No one is an exception. LV Weihai laughed coldly. Relying on this secret technique, he had always been successful. He could be said to be invincible amongst his peers. No one was a match for him. Chapter 316. Xia Ping. Jiang Yaru, Chu Rong, and Nangong Wu were shocked. They wanted to rush forward, but as soon as they got close, they felt their consciousness blur. This mental power covered an area. Anyone who dared to enter would be affected. They were very anxious. They knew that with Xia Ping's arrogant personality, if he was forced to kneel in front of so many people, it would be a humiliation that he would never be able to wash away. Big brother. Feng Hetang was also very anxious, but he had no other choice but to shout, hoping that Xia Ping would wake up. It's over. Xia Ping is finished. The great hypnosis art is too terrifying. Those with weaker mental power can't resist it at all. It's practically invincible. If this kid was a fighter 7th layer, he might be able to resist it. But he's only a fighter 5th layer now. He's no match for LV Weihai. The dignified number 1 among the freshmen actually knelt before the 7th-ranked freshman. Xia Ping will probably become the laughing stock of the school. This is the consequence of being a fake. Without strength, he still wants to ascend to the throne. Isn't he courting death? Let's use this matter to let this kid know his own strength. Don't think that you can win everything by entering the back door. Without strength, you're just an ant. Many students were also sneering as they watched the show from the side. They believed that Xia Ping would definitely be humiliated this time, leaving behind an indelible humiliation in his life. Well done. To think that this bastard would also have such a day. Zhong Yuan was feeling very refreshed. He wanted to immediately raise his head and roar. He had been beaten so badly by Xia Ping that he almost lost all his face, but he couldn't do anything to him. But now, this kid had met LV Weihai. The other party was basically Xia Ping's nemesis. Although he didn't personally make a move, making this kid kneel in this place could be considered as a humiliation, allowing him to vent the anger in his heart. Kneel, you bastard! LV Weihai roared. His mental power was pushed to the maximum, and like a heavy hammer, it ruthlessly smashed onto Xia Ping's head. It could be said that this was his strongest attack. It contained the mental power of his entire life, and it was all for the sake of completely destroying Xia Ping's will. In serious cases, it was normal for Xia Ping to become an idiot. But this was the consequence of offending LV Weihai. Idiot. But at this moment, Xia Ping, who was still trembling and seemed to be about to kneel, suddenly revealed a strange smile. It seemed to contain a sense of ridicule and disdain. Damn, I've been tricked. LV Weihai immediately came to a realization. How could he not know that Xia Ping was not affected by his bewitching technique at all? That action just now was just to numb him and make him careless. In fact, Xia Ping's mental strength was 10 times stronger than an ordinary martial artist's. When he was only in the martial disciple realm, he had opened the Baihui acupoint, which was not something an ordinary martial artist could compare with. Even if LV Weihai had extraordinary spiritual talent, he was still far from being comparable to Xia Ping. Using this move to deal with Xia Ping was simply a dream. Heavenly Dragon's 8 notes. Xia Ping opened his mouth and roared. He poured his mental power into it and let out a roar. To begin with, the Heavenly Dragon's music wasn't just a killing technique of sound. It contained a mental attack as well. With a single roar, it could even shatter one's soul, bringing with it a terrifying might. Ah! LV Weihai let out another miserable scream. It was 10 times more miserable than before. His entire body was sent flying by the sound wave and he was immediately sent flying hundreds of meters. His internal organs were severely injured and even his ears were bleeding. He fell to the ground and twitched. White foam flowed out of his mouth as he fell to the ground like an idiot. Now, LV Weihai was suffering from the backlash of his mental power. His brain was severely injured and he was in a miserable state. If he wanted to treat him, he did not know how much it would cost. What are you doing here? Don't you know that this is the airport? You can't stay here and you can't fight here. At this moment, a group of staff immediately noticed the situation and rushed over. They quickly noticed LV Weihai, who seemed to have turned into an idiot, and a pile of seriously injured students who had fallen to the ground. What's going on? Who is committing murder here? A staff member asked. A student who had fallen to the ground shouted, "It's him, it's that bastard Xia Ping. He relied on his strength to deliberately commit murder. Even Brother Lu was beaten into an idiot by him. Catch him, catch this murderer immediately." That's right, that's right. Such an evil person is also a student of our Yanhuang University. It's simply a disgrace. Hurry up and arrest him and lock him up for a few decades. He even dared to beat up Brother Lu like this. What else wouldn't he dare to do? A direct descendant of the Lu family had an accident in this place. Do you know how serious the crime is? Arrest him immediately. A group of LV Weihai's lackeys roared in anger. Their faces were filled with incomparable fear. They could not imagine how angry the Lu family would be if they knew that LV Weihai had become like this. Xia Ping said lazily, "It's not murder, it's just self-defense. This LV Weihai relied on the great hypnosis technique to attack me. He was unscrupulous and committed all sorts of evil. I didn't expect that he would suffer a backlash from his mental power. He only has himself to blame. It has nothing to do with anyone else. If you don't believe me, you can check the surveillance footage here. Naturally, you can prove my innocence." He calmly looked at the staff members. "Yes, I can prove that the first person to attack was LV Weihai. He asked for it all." Jiang Yaru, Chu Rong, and Nangong Wu also stood up to testify for Xia Ping. Sinister. Zhong Yuan and the others all roared in their hearts. They finally understood why Xia Ping pretended to be defeated when he clearly had the ability to defeat LV Weihai. It turned out that he wanted to create evidence of self-defense. After all, cameras were installed everywhere in the airport. Such a thing could not be covered up. But LV Weihai was miserable. After all, he was beaten like a dead dog by Xia Ping. He didn't know if he still had a future in martial arts. Even after being beaten to this state, he had no way to retaliate. Even the police couldn't do anything about it. "Go and investigate." The airport staff looked at each other. They immediately turned on the surveillance footage and investigated what had just happened. As a result, they found that it was indeed LV Weihai's fault. Xia Ping was only defending himself. If it wasn't for the fact that the injured person was LV Weihai, a member of the LV family, this matter would probably have ended just like that. Brother Security, immediately arrest this group of black sheep and put them in jail. If we let this group of people continue to cause trouble everywhere, who knows how many more victims will appear. Xia Ping shouted, "Don't think that LV Weihai can escape punishment just because he has become an idiot. I will definitely sue him until his pants fall off. Let the Lu family come over and apologize to me. Otherwise, this matter will not be over. Do you understand?" Chapter 317. Shameless. Zhong Yuan and the others were speechless. It was clear that this guy had seriously injured LV Weihai and almost turned him into an idiot, yet he still pretended to be the biggest victim. Shameless to the extreme. He even wanted to sue the LV family and make them apologize to him. Even in his dreams, this was not the case. However, they finally knew that Xia Ping was a member of the giant company. They were all shocked. No wonder he was so rich and unscrupulous. With such a force as his backing, even the King family would not be afraid. This Xia Ping is too cheap, shameless to the extreme. He beat Big Brother LV to this state and still wants to complain and ask for compensation? Compensation my ass. He slapped our face and still wants to extort money from us. Does he want to ascend to the heavens? Offending the LV family won't end well for him. All of LV Weihai's underlings were enraged. They had never seen such a bastard in their lives. Yes, yes, yes. We will deal with this matter impartially. Don't worry. The airport staff nodded their heads with bitter faces. This time, they were involved in the confrontation between the LV family and the giant company. They felt bitter in their hearts. If they were not careful, they would be finished. Right now, they didn't dare to say anything. They only said that they would deal with it impartially and then leave it to the higher-ups to deal with. The other matters had nothing to do with them. Just deal with it impartially. Otherwise, I will teach you a lesson. Take these people and scram. Xia Ping waved his hand, revealing an arrogant look. He had also heard the system notification. He had just gained 5,000 hatred points. So. The airport staff didn't stay in this place. They brought the injured students and the unconscious LV Weihai to the nearby hospital for treatment. Let's go too. Xia Ping did not stay here and immediately left the airport. At this time, no one stopped him. Big brother, it is too late. Let's rest here for the night and leave tomorrow. Feng Hetang looked at the sky. It was already 6 or 7 in the evening. That's right. We still need to prepare some things. Nangong Wu nodded. After entering the Evil Corpse mountain range, we might not be able to come out for a long time. We need to prepare nutrient drinks and some equipment. The so-called nutrient fluid was a high-energy protein that contained a large amount of energy. If an ordinary cultivator consumed a nutrient fluid, it would not be a problem even if they did not eat for an entire day. When ordinary martial artists went out to train, they would also bring a lot of nutrient drinks with them in case of emergencies. Sure. Xia Ping nodded. Jiang Yaru said in a low voice, however, that LV Weihai you just offended isn't an ordinary person. The LV family is a famous sovereign family in the heavens realm. Their strength is only second to the 3 giants. Offending a family like that is not something that can be easily resolved. Her expression was very solemn. That's right. It's said that LV Weihai has the Dark Raven's bloodline and has extremely high spiritual talent. Even in the LV family, he's a favored direct descendant. Feng Hetang opened the internet and immediately searched for information about LV Weihai. In this era of the internet, it was relatively easy to find information about some people. Moreover, LV Weihai was also a celebrity. He was usually very high profile, so it was even easier to investigate. It's useless to say these things. If you offended him, so be it. There's nothing to regret. Xia Ping's eyes flashed. Moreover, the one I offended was LV Weihai, not the LV family. There's still a difference between the two. Moreover, I also have a backer. This time's matter was also LV Weihai's fault, so he didn't dare to openly deal with me. At most, he just gave me a little trouble. If that kid still dares to be arrogant, next time I'll directly kill him. He didn't care about the dog shit LV family. If they dared to provoke him, then they must pay the price. Jiang Yaru and the others also nodded. They didn't want to cause trouble, but they weren't afraid of it either. Since they were already bullied, if they didn't fight back, then they would really be turtles hiding in their shells. Let's go and find a hotel to stay in first, Xia Ping said indifferently. Corp City Hospital. After emergency treatment, LV Weihai's subordinates finally recovered from their injuries. After all, they didn't suffer from very serious injuries. They only needed to soak in the nutrient solution once. However, the most serious one was LV Weihai because his injuries weren't physical, but mental. This kind of injury was still a bit difficult to cure with current treatment technology. However, LV Weihai still relied on his powerful bloodline power to automatically wake up. Damn it! In the hospital ward, LV Weihai shouted angrily, that damn Yan Huang star bastard dared to plot against me like this. If I don't take revenge, I, LV Weihai, am not a human. He felt incomparable anger in his heart. To think that he, a dignified descendant of the LV family, one of the top 10 newcomers this time, was actually plotted against by a little fifth heaven of the martial warrior realm slut. How could he endure this? Especially after suffering from mental injuries, who knew how many precious medicines and how much time it would take to fully recover. His resentment towards Xia Ping could simply break through the sky. It's really too hateful. That bastard not only injured Brother LV, he even wanted to sue Brother LV and ask for compensation from the LV family. I've never seen such an arrogant person. He doesn't put the LV family in his eyes at all. He's only at the fifth heaven of the martial warrior realm and he's already so arrogant. If he advances to the martial master realm, wouldn't he be riding on Brother LV's head? Such a person must not be allowed to live. One by one, the lackeys gritted their teeth and were very resentful towards Xia Ping. It's a pity that my LV family's forces are not in this place. Otherwise, I can mobilize my LV family's personal guards and immediately enter the gloomy corpse mountain range to kill him. LV Weihai was very unwilling. The killing intent in his heart was boiling. He wished he could immediately kill Xia Ping. Young Master LV, don't worry. A lackey's eyes revealed a trace of coldness. This is the gloomy corpse city. Not only are there students, there are also many desperados living here. As long as you give them money, they will sell their lives for you. If we can find some desperados to help us, killing that Xia Ping will be like killing a dog. His tone was very fierce. Then what are you waiting for? Immediately go and find them. It's just money, I have plenty of it. As long as you can kill that Xia Ping, I will heavily reward you. LV Weihai's face was ferocious. Oh right, that kid has a few beautiful women around him. Don't kill them for now. I want to imprison them and make them my slaves. Not only do I want that kid to die, I also want to humiliate his women. I want him to see the consequences of offending me, LV Weihai. His heart was filled with anger. Yes, young Master LV. Chapter 318. Very quickly, the night passed. Xia Ping and the others ate and drank to their heart's content. After recuperating, they immediately left the Een Corpse city and headed towards the distant Een Corpse mountain range. The Een Corpse city was only 2 kilometers away from the Een Corpse mountain range, so they quickly arrived. The closer they got to the Een Corpse mountain range, the more Xia Ping found that the surrounding air had become turbid. There was an unpleasant smell in the air, mixed with the rotting smell of corpses. Even the soil on the ground had turned black, like a swamp, constantly rolling and producing black bubbles. From time to time, piles of white bones would appear on the ground, making it seem like they were in hell. Be careful. Jiang Yaru said in a deep voice, it is said that the air in the Een Corpse mountain range contains a slight amount of poison. If you breathe it for a long time, ordinary martial artists will get sick and die from the poison. You must constantly stimulate your true qi to form a qi cover to resist the poison in the air. Even the soil on the ground is contaminated with corpse poison, so you can't easily touch it. At this time, a layer of transparent true qi cover appeared on her body, covering every part of her body, isolating the outside air. If it was ordinary poison, it would be impossible to enter. Chu Rong, Nangong Wu, and Feng Hatang were the same. They operated the techniques in their body, forming a qi cover on the surface of their body. Only in this way could they survive in the Een Corpse mountain range. But Xia Ping didn't need it. His dark north body protection technique was constantly operating, expelling the poison in the Een Corpse mountain range, making it impossible for it to approach his body. They rushed all the way and finally entered the Een Corpse mountain range, then ran for more than 10 kilometers. Amazing. Xia Ping looked around. He felt that this huge mountain range was shrouded in a layer of gray fog, faintly emitting a strange power. It condensed and did not dissipate, isolating it from the outside world. This was the power of space isolation. Once they entered this mountain range, it was like entering another space. The rules of heaven and earth changed, not allowing martial masters to appear in this space. However, it didn't affect martial realm experts at all. There are actually trees here. Jiang Yaru also discovered that there were many trees growing on the nearby mountains, but these trees had no leaves and were completely white like bones. Don't get close to these trees. In the Een Corpse mountain range, even plants are extremely dangerous. Nangong Wu said in a low voice, these trees are called white bone trees. Once a living being approaches, they will immediately attack, kill, and devour the living being. Previously, there were some students who didn't recognize these trees and foolishly approached them. In the end, they were killed and turned into fertilizer for the white bone trees. We have to be careful. She pointed at the white bone trees in front of her, her eyes filled with vigilance. But it's really strange. We've been walking for more than 10 kilometers. Why haven't we encountered any zombies or skeletons? Have they all been killed? Feng Hatang looked around curiously. Xia Ping said indifferently, they weren't killed. They just hid and wanted to ambush us. What? Hearing this, Jiang Yaru, Chu Rong, Nangong Wu, and Feng Hatang immediately jumped in fright and vigilantly looked in front of them. Boom! At this moment, the ground shook and the soil rolled. White skeletons emerged from the ground. Their bodies were crooked as they stood on the ground. 2 black holes on their bodies contained blue soul flames. Even their bones seemed to be engraved with many mysterious inscriptions, making their bones even harder. Some of the skeletons even held bone blades in their hands, emitting terrifying killing intent. Ha! Foolish humans. Have you finally discovered that this is an ambush? But it's too late. You've already stepped into this general's trap. Obediently wait for your deaths. I will refine you into my loyal and devoted subordinates. With a swoosh, a 2-meter-tall zombie appeared in front of them. It was covered in black armor and held a large blade in its hand. It rode on a tall skeleton horse, looking like an ancient general. A tyrannical killing intent surged out of its body. With its body as the center, the area within a radius of several hundred meters turned into a vacuum. The yin qi on the ground boiled, forming a black swamp. Feng Hatang and the others were shocked. This zombie general had a cultivation of at least the 7th layer of the fighter realm. Die! The zombie general didn't waste any time with Xia Ping and the others. Riding on the skeleton horse, it aggressively rolled over like a tank. The sharp blade in its hand slashed down from the sky. Bang! As the blade slashed down, ripples appeared in the air. It was powerful and heavy, containing the strength of thousands of caddies. It was like an ancient general. Even if a huge rock was placed in front of it, it would be split in half. Xia Ping suddenly punched out. His fist was covered with terrifying true qi. With a bang, the fist and the blade collided. The tyrannical true qi vibrated. It was like a dragon and a tiger fighting. A terrifying force erupted, setting off a gale. More than 10 skeletons in the surroundings were sent flying. They were directly shattered and turned into a pile of bones on the ground. The ground shook even more. A huge pit appeared at the feet of the 2 people. Smoke and dust billowed. How is this possible? The zombie general's eyes widened. He simply couldn't believe it. He thought that even an expert at the 7th layer of the fighter realm might not be able to match up to his blade and had to avoid it. However, this brat's punch produced a tyrannical force. It was actually able to contend with him and they were evenly matched. He even had a vague feeling that he was about to be defeated. Take this palm of mine. Without any hesitation, Xia Ping slapped with his palm. The first move of the immovable Buddha palm, first appearance of Buddha's aura. Immediately, the palm was wrapped in dazzling golden light and emitted waves of Buddha's aura. In the void, there seemed to be the chanting of countless enlightened monks. It seemed to completely purify the surrounding yin qi. Sizzle! Suddenly, the surrounding gray yin qi was unable to resist such a Buddha's aura. Like melting ice and snow, it instantly purified the area within a radius of 100 meters. This was because the immovable Buddha palm was one of the unique skills of Buddhism. It contained the power to purify the world's impurities. To these yin attribute creatures, it had a natural restraining effect and could be called the nemesis. Bang! This palm landed solidly on the body of the zombie general. Immediately, he let out a shrill scream. There seemed to be a huge golden palm print on his chest. There was a charred smell around it. His entire body was sent flying hundreds of meters away. The skeletal horse under him was even more miserable. It was shaken by the strong wind and was sent flying. It was torn apart and turned into a pile of bones on the ground. It was completely lifeless and the soul flame was extinguished.